GROGTALK describes acts of extreme violence in graphic detail and may include discussions about demonology and the occult, topics that caused widespread panic during the 1980s. This content may not be suitable for children under the age of 50. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. Welcome to the GROGTALK with your hosts, Dan and James.
All right, let's see. Welcome to GROGTALK. I'm James.
I'm Dan.
And I will not make Carlos introduce himself while he's eating. So I'm just going to say, welcome, Carlos. And for those,
how you guys doing?
For those who know, Carlos Lysing from casl Entertainment has graced us with his presence, which is awesome. He's going to be here for the whole Halloween special, episode 71. Episode 71, Dan, can you believe it? It's crazy.
It's amazing. Carlos, what are you eating? Are you eating Count Chocula, Frankenberry, or Blueberry?
Neither. I busted into the I live up like 100 yards up a private road, and so I busted into the Halloween candy because we won't get any kids. We never do. So this was a Snickers bar that I decided I would just I would partake of. I need my energy for what's ahead of me.
That's right. That's right. Strap in. It's going to be a wild ride. I heard the grog line. Didn't you guys hear that?
There's a grog line? No, I don't think so. But hey, who knows?
No, never.
But so where are we today, Dan?
We be in Spirac, apparently, layer 71. This layer was a perpetual wilderness that resisted any attempt at civilization. I mean, you're in the abyss. Who's trying to colonize that area? Its dense fern forests and weeds quickly consumed any buildings.
Oh, now he's on hold. This is the morning Dan goes on hold for 5 seconds, and then he comes back.
Oh, am I back from the dead?
Yes,
yeah?
You're back. You're back.
Okay, I just, it said its dense fern forests and weeds quickly consumed any buildings until not even their ruins remained. So there's like general contractors in the abyss.
Apparently.
Right? I mean, they're building buildings. For that reason, the layer had no ruler and served as hunting grounds for demon lords seeking game such as, I've never heard of these things, Yeth hounds, vors, and nightmare beasts. You guys have any clue?
Yeth Hounds Monster Manual 2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good thing we got Carl. You need Carlos on more often. Atop one of the central mountains of the layer. Correction.
We don't. Carlos just to do the show, and we should not be here. We provide no value.
Actually, we've tricked Carlos. This is a trap.
That's right.
You don't know it.
We're going to play it back. That's right.
We're handing the show over to you the end of this.
That's right.
I can't wait. It'll be awesome.
That's great. See? We're both going to kill ourselves. Okay, atop one of the central mountains of the layer, there was a pool that had the power to rejuvenate a mortal that bathed in it. The price was to surrender a part of one's free will to Sanilon, a demon lady. I like a demon lady.
That's a great song. It's almost like an 80s song. Demon lady. Or 70s.
I'm in love with a demon lady.
It sounds like something Rainbow would do.
Right?
That's right. Ronnie James Dio.
That's right. Ronnie James, right?
It's like right after Terror Woman on Rising, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it's a strange phrase to use for a demon. She's such a nice demon lady.
Yes, she is. That's hilarious.
She's in the depths of the pool. So there we are. We're in this. There's a lot of game. There's abyss herd animals.
Abyssal herd animals. That's right. Well, very good.
Abyssal herd animal.
Yeah, that's also a good thing. Dio song. Yes, that's right. That's what we're thinking. Demon lady. We've got our friends from around the world. We got folks in Japan, Canada, it looks like, Sweden. So always good to have folks on.
I want to give a shout out to you, James, actually, about your friends from around the world. casl Entertainment was just contacted a couple days ago by one of your fans in Belgium who had heard about us through your show. So I owe you guys a debt of gratitude for that. And your reach is incredibly far.
The Grog
I was
Empire.
impressed.
Yes.
Well, Carla, it's the 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
That's right.
And I think we
I don't care how you do it, you did it. I was impressive as far as I was concerned.
Yeah, that was the plan. I said, James, we should do 8 a.m. Eastern Time so we can get people in other parts of the world. But, the downside of this, of course, is that our U.S. ratings are in the toilet, always. Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't even have a rating in the U.S.
We are, I forgot which band we are.
248. 248.
Well, besides that, we are, it escapes me. We're the band that's good in the UK, but no one cares, at home, no one cares about us.
Yes. Well, what was that rock band in the 80s? It was all women. Don't say Bangles. Don't say Go-Go's.
Vixen?
No, not Vixen, but good one. I can't remember. They played with Lemmy a lot. Well, maybe that'll be...
L7.
No, the, something...
L7.
Girls' School is something.
Girls' School.
Right, Girls' School was never really popular in the U.S., but there's UK, very popular in the UK, I believe, right?
I think so. Yeah.
All right. Moving on.
Is Girls' School
Right.
actually? I thought those were dudes actually in Girls' School.
No,
Aren't
I
they
think
guys?
I'm pretty sure they were girls.
Well, it's hard to tell the difference with the 80s bands. I understand that, but I think you were Carlos. You were attracted to people you didn't realize you.
Yeah,
probably,
I know, that's awesome. I
vice
never knew
versa.
that. I'm a liberated man. I can handle that.
You're like, that's fine. That's fine. Wait, Poison was dudes?
That's right.
Oh
No
my
way.
God.
I draw the line there. The worst band of all time. Sorry.
Controversy here. That's half our fan base here, the guys from Poison. So
Ricky Rocket is out there watching this show right now, banging his fists on his
That's
table.
right. Bret Michaels was going to be on next week.
He probably lost 3 or 4 of the follicles of hair he still has.
That's rough.
All right, so
I like Carlos fits right in, doesn't he?
As he does, but our fans are concerned they've tuned into the wrong podcast. So,
Right.
Okay.
some quick announcements. GrogCon, as you know, is delayed till next year. We're hoping for the April timeframe. We still have no additional news. I don't think we'll probably hear something until the beginning of New Year. Is that correct, Dan, from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, it would help if I hadn't dropped off of Facebook. I'd probably be more connected to that group.
Okay.
The Crucible. Since my only connection with Crucible was really through Facebook, I didn't really think about that before dropping off of Facebook. But I'll figure out how to get in contact with them.
Okay.
Before April.
And of course, if it is, and if it's safe to travel, Amanda and Carlos and the whole clan from Casl Entertainment should be able to come down. We'd love to have them. It'll be a good time.
We can't wait, man. It's been too long. We need to throw some dice together.
Exactly.
It is kind of sad that we were saying like we're going to be like the convention. People are dying for gaming when we thought it was going to be in October, and now we're like we may be that, but it's April. But it is what it is.
Exactly. So, by the way, today is the last day for giveaways. So every month, to our patrons, which we really appreciate, we give away something. We've been giving away stuff from Angry Dwarf, from Vic. We will be showing our new toys that we got in the mail, which again, very exciting. And what's great about having Carlos on is he can go over each of the products and kind of explain it. And we will go and. So you'll be very excited, and these will be in the bucket of stuff we will give away. Again, thanks to our
pretty
patron.
packaging done by Amanda Rue.
She did a wonderful job.
I wish I could claim that I had anything to do with that.
Well, I posted a video of me ogling the box on Twitter because it's super fun. So we're gonna. So if you are a patron today, next time we have a show, which is November 14th, you'll be eligible for what we draw. And you'll get a prize, which is super cool. So again, thanks to Carlos and Amanda for sending that to us. And,
absolutely, my pleasure.
Swedish Challenge, yes, right, Belgium. We are moving up in Belgium thanks to our friends there. And 151 in Japan. I got to talk to Menyon. Perhaps he can find who that other person who listens to us over there and see why they're not listening anymore. Kind of work on that. But we do have an iTunes review. And speaking of Belgium, Best RPG podcast in Belgium. I really enjoy this podcast. Thanks to this podcast, I went to my attic and dug up my 35-year-old AD&D stuff. We need to find where he lives. He's probably got some good stuff. We should
I think I know exactly who that is. I think that's the gentleman that contacted me.
Vincent is his name.
Yep, that's him. That's him.
And thanks a lot, guys, for giving me my hobby back. That's awesome. So thanks to Vince for doing an iTunes review. If you feel so inclined, do an iTunes review for us. That always helps, because then people can know what we're doing.
And what's interesting, too, with people like Vincent who come out of the deep freeze, you wonder how it happened. So you wonder, how did he decide to look up podcasts on 1E? Something must have, sparked his interest after 35 years. So I always find that interesting. Yeah,
well, hopefully if he hears this, he can send us a note. You can send it at info@grogcon.com, or we're on Twitter. So another one. And speaking of that, we're on Discord. Our Discord channel is doing really well. We're very happy with that. People are setting up games, which is the whole purpose of why we did this, so people can play 1E games. It's super fun. So if you go out, the Discord link is in the link of this, and we'll also put it on our website. Come and join us. It's awesome, super fun. Okay. I almost forgot the next most important thing. Flipping and Turning issue 2 is moving forward. If you want to submit to the second episode or second issue of Flipping and Turning, please send your submissions to editor@grogcon.com. That's Rob, or you can go out to Discord and ping him. Submissions are due November 30th, so you have a homework assignment. When you're on Thanksgiving break, get your stuff done. Dan, you have your article ready?
I do not have my article ready, but I've got an idea, and I want to mention it while it's still on my mind. And if Rob is listening or listens at some point, maybe he'll agree that this is a good idea. You know how, and I thought about this as I was going through the October Dragon magazine. You know how so many of these strange monsters, they say they're created by this, crazy magic user, and use the following spells, and there's like a list of 5 spells. I thought it would be fun, to randomly roll. I'm not saying we do this, it would be Rob. Randomly roll like 5 spells and say, okay, if you had these 5 spells to create a monster, what would that monster be? What do you think?
Oh, okay.
I think that's really cool. That's a good idea.
Thank you. But you have to say that because you're being polite. You're our guest.
No,
See, James can give it straight.
No, I'd tell you if I thought it was terrible.
If it sucks, he would say it. So
it was, just silent crickets, giant crickets. So, all right, that's all. I wanted to get that out there while it was on my mind. So there you go.
Like the homunculus. It's basically the homunculus, which again was so fascinating when we have these books for decades. And, we're talking about mending and how terrible it is. And David Thompson, of course, the Chamberlain from Australia, goes, that's how you make the homunculus. And we're like, what? And we go back and there it is. So, so it's that kind of. So basically, you're stealing the homunculus thing. What would we do if we whipped up a bunch of spells? What would come out?
Exactly.
I love it. That's good. No, that's good. You're full of good ideas. Don't sell yourself short, buddy. That's.
Wait, what's going on? Wait, what's happening? Is it because I only have 2 years to live?
Yeah, you only have 2 years left. That's right. That's exactly.
Is that what it is? You're starting to be nice to me.
I'm always nice to you.
You are. I'm kidding.
It's rough. It's rough. You're rough this morning. You're trying to get into a fight. We're gonna die later. We're dying later. So don't move forward for it. So random encounter.
Wait. Can you roll a D4? I need to figure out what my breakfast cereal is today. Can you roll a D4? 1 is Count Chocula, 2 is Frankenberry, 3 is Blueberry, a 4 is a combination. Can someone? Show Carlos Lysing, our guest out there.
Carlos should roll it because I got to get my fiend folio while you do that.
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Thank you, sir. What I love about our guests is dice are always near, even if they're not.
Are you ready for D4 right now?
Yeah. Oh
yes,
yeah.
Please. Yes.
Here's my D4. It is a 3.
Ah, perfect. Blueberry. Thank you very much. It matches my shirt. And
awesome.
Can you please? I've got strawberries and blueberries. Could you roll a D6 for me? 1, 2 is going to be strawberries. 3, 4 blueberries. 5, 6 both.
That would be a 5.
Oh, I love it. Thank you very much. So, all right, I'll get started. I'll try to mute it while I eat. Because that's who needs that. Right?
Well, I actually tried to buy Count Chocula, and let's just say it didn't work out because
It's pricey, right? Is that what you're going to say?
Well, it was not only is it pricey, which is ridiculous for basically
it's ridiculous.
Powdered chocolate sugar. We have a delivery that comes because we have first world problems here, and it wouldn't get here till today at 3:00. So it's like, well, I have to go out to the store. Actually got out there. Ooh. That's crazy.
You should have. You got to grab it at Target when you see it. You should have come by. I would have given you my Count Chocula.
Oh, well.
Oh well.
People were. I showed last year's picture of us eating cereal, and they're like, "Oh, are we meeting again?" I'm like, well, based on the case counts here in Florida, pretty much everyone has it at this point. So we're just, why not? I just said we were hanging out together, creating our own little pod. I'm reading some comments here.
Oh, okay. Is this where I'm supposed to fill the time?
No, I'm waiting for you to crunch because we're going to do the random encounter. That was the.
Oh, I'm ready to go. No, I'm going to be eating throughout. Probably. I'm ready to go. Let's do the random encounter. Now, okay. Can I ask? Come on. I want to ask Carlos about this because I believe there remains controversy as to whether it really is the Dorso roll. Carlos, you and Vic were down at Grogcon, of course, and. Right, and somebody suggested that we needed to do an extra roll to see whether it was Monster Manual 2 or Fiend Folio.
Yeah.
Would you like to claim credit for that? Because we're calling that the Dorso roll.
I can't claim credit for that with 100% authority, although I do think that sounds like something I would say because I'm a huge enthusiast of both books.
Well, I'm sorry, that's not sufficient evidence.
Yeah, I know. I don't think it is either, but
yeah, because so basically we stay where we're at.
I think so too. I think that Victor deserves credit for that, even if it was partially my idea.
Or all. He's just.
It might have been. I don't know. Yeah.
Legally, he's going to get credit for it because you've not overcome the.
Cheers, Victor.
All right, let's do it. Still. Okay, so it's a 1, 2, or 3 is Fiend Folio, correct? And 4, 5, or 6 Monster Manual 2. And I think next year we should dedicate the year to this book actually because it's 1981, but it's a different issue.
Not to mention that Russ is a little bit ill right now too. Russ Nicholson, who did most of the art in there, so it might be a good time to do it.
Oh, okay, that would be that's a great idea. That is a great idea.
He's a great gentleman too, by the way.
We'd love to have him on the show. Did he do the cover?
He did do the cover.
Oh, that's a great cover. That's wonderful. All right, so. Carlos, would you like to give us a Dorso roll? D6?
Yeah, sure. D6, you said? Okay,
D6, please.
It is 4.
Oh, you like Monster Manual 2 as well. So
I do.
It is the Monster Manual 2. And we've got that weird giant, right,
That's right.
James?
That's right. Weird giant. The Verbig.
Which is based on, I was going to say...
Very big. He's very big.
He's very big.
Very big.
He's from
the Verbig and the Firebulg were both quite elevated in profile in later editions of the game, too.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Hey, listen, when I grew up, we just had hill giants. Okay, so give me a D10, please, Carlos. We need to figure out where we are wandering.
Of course. Your D10 is a 10.
Oh. You gotta be kidding. Astral and ethereal.
Oh, more astral and ethereal. Okay.
Why do you say it that way?
Because it's usually complicated, and we go on a tangent. But go ahead. Let's see. Carlos is here, so we're okay.
Okay, he'll keep us tethered to the prime material plane.
I'll be your silver cord.
Thank you. So we need a D6 because 1, 2, or 3 will be astral. 4, 5, or 6 will be ethereal.
That would be astral because I rolled a 1.
Astral. Now this is let me see if I remember this. Because James always teases me. James, this is the superhighway. Is that right?
Right.
Right. This is the way you get there. Right?
Highway to hell. Stairway to heaven. Exactly.
Perfect. All right. We now need a D8 and a D12 because it's going to be the 2 to 20.
D8 and a D12. First, your D8 is a 5 and your D12 is an 8.
Oh, okay. So we got a 13. Is that what it is?
Yes, that's correct.
And I don't know what this is. An astral diva.
Oh.
Is this like?
Oh boy, somebody's getting smoked.
Yeah, this is not good.
Like Madonna?
Somebody's getting smoked today.
Yeah, this is a beat. This is a beat down.
This is gonna end quickly.
Yes, it will.
This is gonna be faster than the elephant one.
Almost. It'll be the same timing. Yeah, this shouldn't be good.
Yeah.
All right, let's get there. So I'm assuming is it under diva?
Yep.
There it is.
Page 43 of the Monster Manual 2 for those playing at home.
Wait, it looks like a guy. I was expecting a woman.
It's a diva.
Okay.
So
I don't know
anyway,
what that means.
well, it's the Astral Diva is part of the Divas, so you'll have to read on page 42.
Oh,
There's 17 paragraphs there, and then you have to read the 12 paragraphs under Astral. I'm exaggerating a little bit.
Okay. All right, here we go. I'm learning about divas. The race of divas inhabit the upper outer planes of good. Oh, okay, we got a goodie. Divas are servants and messengers of the various deities of good alignment. Some divas are lawful, some chaotic, some neutral, but all are good. Are they kind of like angels? I see
They're like minor angels. Solars are angels, but
Yeah.
they're like minor angels.
Oh, okay. They're too big, though. They're 7 feet. They should be tiny. Divas are by no means the most powerful creatures on the planes they inhabit, although there's no question that they are powerful minions of good. All divas are able to travel about the planes of good alignment, although those of lawful nature will be found doing so only when obeying some instruction from a deity, and even chaotic divas seldom journey from place to place except in service. All divas can become ethereal as well, although only the astral diva can travel astrally, except when commanded by a deity. They generally operate equally well in any environment, including water. When on the prime material plane or any elemental plane, only the material body of a diva can be destroyed. The spirit of the diva is invulnerable and will return to its own plane instantly upon destruction of its fleshy form, there to remain for a decade and regain the power necessary to again form a corporeal body. Note, I need to take a breath there. Note, however, that when on any other plane, all divas are subject to actual death. No diva will ever negotiate with beings or creatures of evil, although non-lawful divas might strike a bargain with non-evil neutrals. A diva can usually evaluate opponents so as to determine which are most powerful and pose the greatest threat and attack accordingly. Attacks can be divided during a round if the diva so desires. So now here, this is, I guess, what you need to know, right? What can this diva do? All divas can. I'm actually rooting against the diva. All divas can perform the following spell, right? Yeah. And I think I'm the diva in this, aren't I?
Yes, you are. So you could, and you're in the abyss. Somehow you're a diva in abyss. The abyssal.
I can be killed.
That's right. This is serious.
That's right, because I only on my own.
Spoiler alert: you're not going to be.
Oh. Well, I see a long list of italics, which means it's a lot of spells here. All divas can perform the following spell-like powers, one at a time, one per round. Cure disease, I don't care. Cure light wounds, cure serious wounds, detect evil, detect illusion, detect magic. I do a lot of detecting. Detect magic, detect traps, dispel magic, etherealness, heal, no alignment. Oh, I can cast invisibility. Light, polymorph self. Okay. I may become an elephant. Read and charge. Read magic, remove curse, remove fear, teleport with no error. But that would be a weenie move. Tongues and ultravision, protection from evil. Divas are not affected by cold, electrical, magic, missile, petrification, poison, normal fire-based, or any gas attack spells, except for monadic divas, who are not affected by fire of any sort. Divas take half damage from dragon and magical fire attacks. They take full damage from acid attacks, although they take no damage from normal iron or silver weapons. They take full damage from those which are magic. The 3 kinds of divas found anywhere in the upper planes are detailed hereafter. Okay. Moving on. Astral diva. They're very rare. Never appearing. Wow. Oh my gosh. James. I'll let James do this. I think, or we can do Carlos. Carlos, are you not looking? If you're not looking,
I've got it. I've got it up in front of me. What would you like me to look?
No, I was going to quiz you. But have you already looked? For either of you have not looked, what do you think their AC might be?
I'm sure it's high, but I don't know exactly what it is.
I'm going to guess -3.
James, got a guess?
-2, something like that.
-6. Do you guys remember when you first saw the Monster Arena base, you're first starting to play, and you'd look up something, and it would have like an AC of -1, and your eyes just widened. You're like, it was still like, right? You're like, oh my god. Okay, the movement. You know what their movement is? I guess this is what's 1/ flying.
Yes.
Flying movement.
No, double slash is
double slash is flying. One flash is.
What's single?
Swimming, moving. I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Single's flying. I'm looking. Single's flying. Double swimming.
Oh, okay.
Single flying. I'm looking at page 5 of Mashimo 2. It says single flying, 2 swimming. Because this would only make sense that it was flying. It's so incredibly fast. How fast do you think I'm flying? So basically, if I run, it doesn't matter.
36.
Yeah, I was going to say something like that.
42.
Oh,
Wait, the hit dice are 9 plus 36?
Yep.
That's not a typo. It's not supposed to be like 9 plus 3.
No.
Who adds 36? Why don't you just
There's
add
a
more
lot. There's a lot of things like daemons in the Monster Manual 2. They have really high pluses on there.
That's weird because you just think they'd add the hit dice, right? But I
Well,
guess
it's
Go ahead.
important to remember that anything with a +3 hit after the hit dice or more, it goes up to the next highest rung on the attack ladder in the DMG, page 74. So
the plus 36 keeps it actually limited on it would, right? I mean, if you switch that over to a hit dice, it could end up being like 13. Now it's just going to be 10.
yeah, exactly,
Right.
exactly. Which is probably why it was done.
Or
I think that
they
makes-
wanted to guarantee a certain amount of hit points, because even in theory, if you had a 17 hit dice creature, it could have 17 hit points. Where here, the minimum, if it's 9 hit dice, like you said, it's 45 hit points. So, and you don't give it the better attack range, like Carlos said. They fight as a 10 hit dice monster as opposed to a 17 hit dice monster.
Right. So you can't, like in our game, end up with what was the ranger with 3 hit points at first level.
Exactly. Yeah. No con. He's got no
The
con.
magic user's got 4, and the ranger's got 3.
How did he even qualify for Rangerhood?
I think he had he had 13, whatever the minimum constitution he had.
Wow.
And he rolled
Unbelievable.
a 2 and a 1, and he did in fact die. Right, he was killed by.
Carrying crawler.
That's right.
That's
Good
what makes the
memory.
game so memorable. You know how they die
It's the first thing
horribly.
that ever killed
Right.
me in a game. Carrying Crawler.
There you go. Number of attacks 2, 4 to 15, 4 to 15 with a +6 strength bonus. Yes, we will see all these special attacks below. There is special events. Yes, we will see below 60% magic resistance. Of course, they're a genius. 20 wisdom. You know, a lot of characters have 18 intelligence. You know, that's super a genius, right? I mean, that shouldn't happen. Okay.
20 plus is super genius, isn't it?
Oh, hang on. Let's take a look. Oh, I don't know. Where is it? Is it in the beginning?
Yeah.
I know it's in the monster. There it is. Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Super is 19.
Super genius. Wildly Coyote.
I'm sure that's not a change from the monster manual. I just said, sorry, this is what we do, Carl. You know it, though. Carlos has been on
I'm
the show.
totally
Yeah,
fine with it.
He is. Yeah, no, you're right. Genius is, yeah. But so if you think about it, 17 is a genius. You shouldn't really have that many, but okay. I digress. 7 feet tall. Oh, they have psionics.
Yes, they do.
Oh, that's hard to run. Okay, but I know this much. I can only use psionic blast
You
against a
won't need
non-psionic. Okay.
You won't need to.
Are you gonna be giving me advice? Are you gonna be the
No,
Astral
I'm just
coach?
I'm going to be I'm going to be a lemure just laying there or a larvae just watching this above me.
Right, eating popcorn. Okay.
Yeah.
Astral divas are principally employed in the astral plane, so this would make sense. Or in any other outer. Oh, so are they like cabbies then? Are they kind of like what did we see? Are they like a Sharon demon of heaven? Kind of. Maybe they're like going back and forth. They're like messengers. Okay.
The Uber.
They're the Uber of heaven. Okay, they move about in service to their sovereigns. They're very quick, whether afoot or using their mighty pinions. What's a pinion?
Isn't that their wings like?
Part
I
of
would
a
say?
wing.
Yeah.
It's part of a wing.
Oh, okay. I thought I was going to say minions.
No, it's pinion is part of a wing.
Okay. that could be a big misunderstanding. An astral diva normally carries a huge mace-like weapon, which it can wield nimbly. This weapon is a +3 value when employed by an astral diva. Any creature, so you get +3, and you get the +6 on. Yeah, right. Because I know I saw that somewhere. +6 strength bonus. So that means I get +9 to hit with my mace.
No, the strength bonus
that's
is
the
to damage.
bonus. Yeah.
Oh, the strength is just.
Yeah, you're going to be attacking as your hit dice as a 10 hit dice creature because you're at the +3 plus a +3 for the magic weapon.
Oh, I see. Since +6 strength bonus is under damage, that just means that I'm just getting +6 only to damage. Because normally my strength would also give me a plus to hit as well, but that doesn't do it here. Okay,
Apparently.
I'm learning. Any creature struck twice in the same melee round and suffering twice. How many? Oh, I do get 2 attacks. Is that 4 to 15? What is that? Is that my mace or is that my pinions?
It's 1 to 12 plus 3.
Oh, okay. So what's the 4 to 15?
That's 1 to 12 plus 3.
Oh, you're saying how to calculate that.
Yeah.
But so is that my mace? So do I get to whack you twice with my mace?
I would say yes.
Yeah. Carlos, you
Yeah,
down?
he wields it. Well, that's the whole wields it nimbly. It's gonna attack you twice with the mace.
Okay. Is a mace normally 1 to
No.
12?
No, this is a big.
No.
This is a big ass mace. This is a bam.
Yeah.
It's a bam.
Yeah, like does a giant do more damage with a club? Like he's usually got a club, right? Like a hill giant. Is it more damage than a normal club?
Yes.
Okay. Any creature struck twice in the same melee round and suffering damage in excess of 20 hit points must save or spell or be knocked senseless for 14 rounds. That seems like that should be a general rule. The weapon also acts, right? I mean, why is that limited to this guy? The weapon also acts as a mace of disruption. What does a mace of disruption do?
That's where, basically, if you score a hit, you look at the turning table, based on the undead creature you hit, you can obliterate it, or depending on how well you hit. Yeah.
Correct.
So in this case, it's equal to the 9th level. I believe the DMG one is 12th level. It's equal to if the table that you use.
That is correct.
Carlos, should I be able to just use my mace and whack this giant to death?
Yes, you should, and I think that's what you should do.
I appreciate it. That's easy.
Yeah.
Good answer. An astral diva. I mean, there's nothing like an angel whacking something to death with a mace.
Well, you could just drop blade barrier on him too, and really make it ugly.
What's blade barrier? What is that?
You'll get there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm only on the first paragraph. I mean, an astral diva can use the spell-like powers given above at will, 1 per round to the applicable maximums. Light shed by an astral diva can have 4 to 40 foot radius as desired. The protection from evil is so I can put like a big light on you and then whack you to death like a spotlight. The protection from evil is a sphere with a 10-foot radius. Well, you're neutral paren evil. Carlos, do you think is the protection from evil spell any help against a parenthetical evil creature?
Parenthetical evil creature?
Yeah, so neutral paren evil, like a giant rat.
No.
I agree. An astral diva can also dispel illusion, dispel invisibility of any sort, polymorph self, or remove curse, all 1 per round. So I could polymorph myself into look like another one of these giants, like I'm his buddy. I'm like, hey, come here, dude. I got something to whisper to you. Like a female. I could be like a female giant like this.
A she-big versus a verbig.
Yes. And I'd be like, hey, come here. That's what I'm going to do. Once I should get an extra surprise on that, Carlos. I'm already working the raft.
You've already surprised me.
That's right.
They're full of surprises. You've never seen anyone pull that one before, have you? With an astral diva.
I have not.
This is tips for the kids out there. Okay, how to play an astral diva. Okay, once per day, an astral diva can create blade barrier. What's I'm exhausted. What's blade barrier?
It's a spell. High level, 6th level cleric spell.
Yeah, 6th level cleric spell, high level damage, very potent defensive spell.
Okay. Astral divas can never be surprised. It requires a +1 or better magic weapon to harm them. Oh my gosh.
So the Verbeeg is probably not even going to be able to damage him.
That's going to be hilarious.
Well, he's 5 + 5 hit dice, so he is.
That's true.
He is. Large.
That's true.
That's right. There's that rule. Easy to forget. Yeah, that's right. Total vacuum does no harm to astral. What the heck is a total vacuum?
If he was in space. If he was in space. Because you're always throwing astral divas into space, and you're like, I wonder what happened with that. Oh, nothing would happen to it. He's totally fine. Okay, that's all.
Right.
So the total vacuum is a risk. So like the risk you take anytime you get on I-4 is you could that's it.
In space, no one could hear you scream.
Yeah, apparently there's some kind of need to know that in a total vacuum, a diva is going to be fine.
Okay, got it.
You're not just testing the speed of light.
Gary was so smart that he actually was predicting Spelljammer here.
Yes, that's right.
Oh my gosh. Gary's one step ahead. Okay.
Yep.
They are immune See, this is what it is. Yeah, Gary's. That's why these get so long. It's like you got to explain all these things. No, you can't do this and you can't do that. They are immune to life level loss, whether from undead or magic. Their souls cannot be. Yeah, this is the paragraph that Gary, right? He's like, yeah, don't even try any of this stuff. Their souls cannot be trapped or imprisoned. Oh, so I can't do magic jar on an astral. Oh, they're immune to death spells. Okay. Their charisma effect is 20. Astral divas are tall, slender, and graceful. They have golden skin and hair, amber eyes, and large white wings tinted with gold. They otherwise resemble humans. Okay, wow. Alrighty. I'm ready for literally a beatdown. I love a diva, an angel that whacks people with a mace. All right. Veer Big, he's in this thing too, isn't he?
Yes, page 69.
Thank you. Okay. In the abyss. There you go. All right. That poor guy. What's his? Oh, he's
won't
smart.
have far to go.
Exactly.
Where does neutral evil go? It has to go one step evil-ish off of neutral, right? What's neutral?
Is it Gehenna? Archeron?
No,
Gehenna?
never mind. It's the 3 triple glooms. Hades.
Hades.
It's Hades.
It's Hades. Oh, Hades is neutral, paren evil. You think?
And I should have known that because I'm doing so much with Hades right now. I can't believe I didn't remember that.
So there's just like tons of giant rats in there.
Hades is mostly populated with things like night hags and other awful things like the daemons are all neutral evil. So.
Oh, but this is neutral paren evil.
Well.
You know what I'm saying?
Neutral paren evil. Again, you're trying to make it neutral paren evil. It's neutral with evil tendencies, like you,
Correct.
Dan.
Right. Neutral with evil tendencies.
So you're on concordant opposition, possibly on Hades.
Okay. Depending how
much tendencies you know.
Right.
Assuming you've been tracking your alignment on your chart, right?
Yeah, because last game you told me I was a 3 out of 4.
Well, that's
right?
performance. That's different. You're supposed to. Dan, you have to keep your alignment chart, which is, of course, on page 119. Right. You have that for all your players, and every time you're tracking their alignment during the whole time.
So the DM is like, you do something, the DM's like, you're the paladin, and DM goes, and looks down and like marks something and looks back up. That's fun.
You just hear a draw mark as he moves the plots you lower. So on page 119 of the Player's Handbook, here's neutral. Neutral parenthetical evil would be just a little bit, you bounce back and forth to here. Yeah.
It's like your FICO score. You hold it up.
That's right. They have an app. Oh, no, I lost 10 points on neutral. What happened?
What's this? Alert. Yeah, you get a little text. You are dangerous.
I kind of like because of the Russian judge holding up neutral. Yeah,
that's right.
Right. That's also at the end of the game, right? You have 3, you have 4. So, all right. So, okay, let's do it.
All right. So we got to do surprise.
We're in a wilderness, right? Because we're in Spyrack or whatever.
That's right. That's what we said. We're in a wilderness that cannot be tamed. It's the Wild West.
What are we doing? Surprise?
Surprise.
I'm going to roll it just so that way if I would have been surprised, I can laugh and say I'm not surprised, okay?
Okay.
I'm never surprised.
I rolled a 5.
I rolled a 2. Oh, am I surprised for 2 rounds? No, I'm not. Right?
If you say that's right. You're a diva.
I'm never
This is your avatar, a diva. That's how you are. You are never.
This is me.
This is you.
Yes.
All right, you got to figure out distance now.
This Astral Diva is never going to lose. But then again, Carlos thought Scarlet Rose would never lose.
Right.
Yeah, I did.
So I'm very upset with Carlos because his Scarlet Rose killed Go Delicious, but whatever. You know what? We could have named the ghost. We had a ghost champ. Could have been Ghost Delicious. Okay, good.
Okay, thanks. Yeah. So we're 60 yards away.
I
am. I can't see you guys' reactions. Why not? They're probably terrible. That would restrain me.
Oh, you can't see us?
Blank screen. No.
No, we're up here. Look at the top.
I see a rook. I see Carlos's rook, and I see the Grogcon icon.
Oh, I see all 3 of you. I don't know.
Okay.
I see you guys just fine.
Yeah, it's your crappy service you got there.
It is. All right.
Just don't mess with it, because then your
I
strings...
was clicking. I was. Hands off. I was clicking.
You don't need to see us. You just... Carlos has his smirk, and I have my look of, can we get going? It's the same it's always
Right.
is.
You might as well just do a freeze frame of that.
Right.
Right?
There's no difference. All right, we're 60.
It's our default states.
Right.
Sure.
That's all. So 60, we're outside 60 yards away. So now it's initiative. You're going to declare your action, Dan?
Yes, I am. I am declaring that I'm going to polymorph self into a female Veerbig.
All right. Well, I see you now, so it's going to be a little odd if I see you transform into a female Veerbig. And
you're
and I
small.
thought you didn't learn. I thought you would have learned from the wish spell not to cast spells that you really don't know how they work. But okay.
That's true.
I thought after that you wouldn't do that. But so you're casting polymorph self. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm saying I can toy with you. I mean, what can you do to me?
I'm going to chuck a spear at you. That's what I'm going to do, because that's what I do. I throw spears.
Okay.
And I may take some of this abyssal grass and throw it at you and see if you burns you.
You don't know. I want to roll, Carlos. I want to roll that he says he saw me, but we don't know that it's 60 feet and we're in the wilderness.
I mean,
I don't know that he saw me. He just declared that he saw me.
If you're a diva you're engaging in combat in the abyss, chances are that you flew there. So I'm with James on that one.
And the fact that you emit a bright light, 40, you basically have a 4 to 40 foot radius. You're like Tinkerbell flying around in the abyss. No.
I don't think I'd last long. I think I think a Erdlin or somebody would come in.
I got to commission one of my casl entertainment artists to draw me Tinkerbell with a +3 mace now.
That's it.
Yes. Tinkerbell like slaying, killing something. a paladin or something.
All right, so it's initiative. You're going to polymorph self into a female Veerbig. I'm going to chuck my spear at you.
Am I going to fall from the sky?
Let's hope.
Well,
He said I didn't know I was flying.
I rolled a 1, so you unless you roll a 1, you will have won initiative.
6.
Okay, so now you cast your polymorph self spell, making yourself a female Veerbig. Of course, you were not on the ground when you did this. At least you didn't declare. You did not declare that. So I'm going to give you a.
Declare I was on the ground.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
But I'll say you're a genius. So give me a D20 intelligence check. What are you, 17 intelligence? So if you roll under your intelligence, you're on the ground before you did this. You're just so excited about smashing evil that you forgot yourself.
I could be 8. No, I could be 18. It's 17 or 18. So can I roll for?
Yes.
So I'm gonna roll. It is a 17. Okay, here we go. I rolled a 1.
There you go. So clearly you're smart enough not to cast polymorph self in the air. So you quickly land, and now you are a female Veerbig. Now, so I'm still throwing a spear at you because I didn't see that happen. -6. I rolled a 10, so I missed. I'm not even going to look it up.
Okay.
Dan, actually, I see the method of your madness now. You're being on brand. This is your Halloween costume, isn't it?
Yes.
Your Halloween costume is a female Veerbig.
Thank you, Carl. Exactly right. I was surprised that you weren't making your intelligence roll until now. But yeah, that's exactly right. Thanks for catching up, guys.
Yeah. So now it's a new round. You are now a female Veerbig, as best as you understood a female Veerbig to be. And I'm going to make a reaction roll because I have literally no idea what's just happened. I mean, I'm average intelligence, but this is strange, even for me being in the abyss. So, okay.
Okay.
So what's your action this time?
Well, wait. Would I know? Now, I don't know if I get to metagame here. Like, I don't know a lot about polymorph self. Am I like losing all my abilities, or do I retain them?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, you when you say you lose your abilities, you are the new form. You don't get all the things of it, but you do retain speech and some of the other things. So it depends what you want to do.
Well, I want to collaborate with my mace, so does polymorph self retain? Do I retain my mace-like abilities? Do I,
I would say your mace is separate from you. So yes, you would have your mace.
Do I get my +6?
Well, the good news is a Veerbig is very strong as well. I'll let you roll a d10 to decide what your strength is, just like a normal Veerbig.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm rolling a d10?
Yeah.
That's the pointy one. Okay.
Yes, that's the
No, the less pointy one, actually. 8.
True. Okay. Yeah, so you're going to do a little less damage, but you're basically the same strength.
Cool. All right.
So now you're just going to walk. You're going to move to close, or are you going to charge with your mace? Well, which?
Sure. Oh, I'm going to. No, I'm going to fly at you. Oh, wait, no, I don't have wings.
You don't have. You're not flying anymore.
Yeah, sure. No, I'm just going to close normally. Why do I need to charge? I'm going to close normally.
Okay, well, because
Slowly pummel you. I know how to get +2.
Well, you get nothing. You're walking towards me. You're more than 60 yards away. So that's what your action is. He's going to make a reaction roll, and then I'm going to decide what he's going to do, because he may become enamored with you. Because I'm still going to say, with your 20 charisma, this may turn amorous at this point.
Is this another Go Delicious Scarlet Rose episode? That was disturbing.
Well.
Remember that?
This was very simple. Take mace, smash mace in face. You've decided to make it more complicated, so that's fine. That's
He's not wrong.
So basically, what you're saying? Are you okay? What are you wearing?
That's kind of personal, but okay.
Well,
people want unarmed combat. They want you to drop the mace and grapple them, and I declare no at this point.
No, that's if you fail your react. That's the amorous.
That's right.
Isn't it?
All right, so here's the initiative. I rolled a 4 this time.
Okay. I rolled a 3.
Okay, so I'm going to roll my reaction roll to see what this is. Hopefully it's just complete hatred. But I'm going to give you your charisma bonus because you have a 20 charisma. So 20 charisma is like 40%, something like that, plus or minus?
45, right?
45, okay. Oh, yeah, so this is pretty good. I didn't roll super great, but I rolled good enough where... Oh, yeah. Well, hello there, young lady. What are you doing here in the 72nd layer of the abyss?
Okay, so that's
He's standing there with his spear, just looking at you, kind of.
Your declared action is to hit on me. Is that what you're saying?
Well, as he's moving up, he's like, "Wow, my lucky day."
He's got game for days.
That's right. Just holding his spear up.
Oh, that was so wrong.
So you now move to close. You're now within striking
distance. That's your declared
distance.
action. You're raising your spear.
I have 1 to 3 spears, and I've pulled one out, and it's standing like this. I'm right here.
Your actions totally precipitated this. Yeah.
That's right.
That's true. I have no one to blame but myself.
So yeah, he's what?
Okay.
What?
Well,
you look so sweet. You put sugar out of business. That's what he said.
Right.
And so now you've moved to close. You're within 10 feet now. So it's declared action. So he's very favorable to you.
Yes. Okay. I am striking with my mace.
So you've
Twice.
just
Twice. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, twice.
So he's not going to do anything. He's kind of he's like, hey, what's your name, kind of thing. So it's initiative.
Why do you even get an action? Because apparently your pants are down around your ankles.
I didn't say that. I didn't. No. Don't make this a R-rated. I'm just being friendly. Why does friendly have to be that? I'm being friendly. It says, read the Dungeon Master's Guide. Friendly, positive reaction. That's what I got. You didn't get creepy old guy dropping pants.
Creepy old giant.
It's,
Okay. All right, let's do it.
yeah.
All right.
Now, I guess immediate action could be dropping pants, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. All right, 4.
All right, you're looking at me. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
You've totally destroyed me.
4. What did you get?
Oh, I rolled a 7. Wait, what are we rolling? Oh no, we're just rolling initiative. Sorry.
What is this? Second
I
edition?
get a reroll. 3. Yes, 7. 3.
Okay. Well, he's like,
Dude,
what's
don't
your name?
touch me. I don't, as if. So you're like all trying. Oh, you're like, yeah, okay.
As if.
I'm like, what's your name? All right, so yeah.
Come, let us rule this plane together. Well, now you're attacking me apparently. So go ahead.
Yes, I'm now rolling to attack.
Yes, hit me.
I get a new roll because that was that.
Okay,
14.
so 14. You're not just messing.
I'm a
Wow, you
champion.
don't even care what you need to hit. You're just like, I want to hit him. Okay.
Remember, you get two
get-
attacks.
Thank you. 14 and a 17.
You hit twice.
And I hit dice.
You
You
hit twice.
Okay, so 4, so that's D12 plus 3.
Yeah.
Right.
Plus, I'll give you the strength bonus
Plus
too.
9, plus 6, yeah.
Plus 6.
Plus 5 because your strength is a little different because of polymorph. But yeah, it's basically the same thing. I'll start rolling up his hit points because I don't think we did.
Plus 5? Oh, so you're doing plus 5 or plus 6?
Just do a D3, a D12, plus 3, and then plus 5. There you go. So D3 plus
3,
8.
6, 11. Oh, and then an 18 and 11, 29.
29. Okay, well,
Total.
so I did more. You did more than 20, so I have to roll a saving throw if I remember correctly.
That's right. So you've got the stars going around your head, maybe.
Whoop
They're
upside.
little hearts, I'm sure.
Whoop upside the head here.
That's right. He's in love.
7, 8.
You died happy.
That's right. 13 plus 5. It doesn't really matter. He didn't have that many hit points, but I'm going to roll my saving throw. I rolled a 6. So you just walked up, poor Verbig, just hanging out in the 72nd layer of the abyss, sees one of his kind, just like, could this be magic? And you just clocked him twice inside of the head, and now his neck is kind of like this, and he falls over. Because he only had 21 hit points, and you...
The end.
The end.
So we heard a crack. That's what you're saying?
Yes, you cracked him down. Why you're in the abyss, we don't know. But yes, he's totally dead.
All right. Well, I put his clothes back on because
He did not take his clothes off.
The right thing to do.
Gosh.
The right thing to do. An honorable burial. All right. How's this astral? So I guess we're gonna need a name. We need a name for this astral diva so this thing gets killed, because that's the way it goes when you get a name. Because man, this thing is really, really powerful. I don't know what's gonna take care of this astral. This astral
we've
diva,
said this before. We've said, ancient red dragons should still be around. Things happen. This game.
You're right.
The dice happen.
You're right. Buster Douglas, right? There's our Buster Douglas out there to take out Mike Tyson. So I guess it could happen. So Astral Diva
is the champ. That's right. I got Astral, not Munavik.
So we need people. The suggestions for names need to come in.
My suggestion is Astrid.
Astrid, the Astral Diva. Astrid.
Was that a dog on the Jetsons?
No, it sounds like wasn't a Mesopotamic deity or something?
No, Astrid Astrid's just a Scandinavian female name.
Oh, that's right. I've heard it before. Lola, let's see, soundbite. He didn't take his clothes off. That's right. You can book that. I forgot. Oh, wait a minute. Divine intervention. Aha.
Oh, yeah.
Aha.
That's right.
That's right.
Okay. You get to roll that, right?
That's right. Roll intervention. Oh, please. Now, if there's any time if this to work out, cool. This would be...
Actually, Jezebel would work, too, the way you came up to him and try to seduce him before you blast his head off.
Oh, that's right.
13. Oh, it was so close.
Oh, so close.
13.
Oh.
That's too bad. Or I like Cher or Mariah or Celine, any of the divas. That would be Cher would be good.
Oh yeah, diva would.
You could be like an auto tune. I'm gonna get you a vocoder, so when you role play it, do you believe it? Just a thing like that. Okay, and I forgot.
We can play for 6 seconds, can we? Don't we get 6 seconds without violating? Is that the law?
Something like that. Yeah, we could. I forgot I was going to say we should have used the undead only table, but this worked out better. I like that.
No, I like this. I like random. I thought about that. I saw that. I like random. So all right, one for the good guys.
That's right. Okay, now spell selection. So Carlos, you know how this goes. If you want to roll percentages for us, we're going to figure out the spell.
Yep. Are you gentlemen ready?
We are. And actually, the best suggestion so far has been the name of the diva should be Dan, because he's a diva. That would be perfect.
Ooh, that's a good one. Dan.
I'm not a diva. What do you mean I'm a diva?
Like
I'm not a diva. Okay.
Dan, the roll was 70.
70 exactly?
That's probably magic user.
It's just magic user, just one short. So now roll another D100 to see if it's illusionist, please.
92.
It is definitely a magic user.
Oh, illusionist is low?
Yeah,
okay.
1 to 10.
So now it's a D10 for the level. 10 is 0 reroll, of course. 0 should be a cantrip.
8?
8th level.
Oh my goodness.
Good.
Okay.
Some Dan's never heard about, so that's good.
Never heard. Yeah, so it'd be long. D16. D16. D8. Is there 16? So D8 and a D6, I assume.
8.
Mind blank.
Mind blank.
Oh, yes, a favorite of mine.
Oh, there you go, favorite. Well, then,
Yes.
go ahead, Dan. You can read.
In fact, I might even go so far as to say this is possibly my favorite 8th level magic user spell.
Oh,
See, the dice don't lie. They know Carlos is here.
Yes. You'll see why, though, soon.
Okay, cool. All right,
You'll see
Mind
why.
Blank is on page 90 of the Player's Handbook. Level 8, a range of 3 inches, so 30 feet. 1 day duration. Oh, cool. Something that's going to last
That's
a while.
why. That's one of the reasons why.
Excellent. Verbal and semantic components, 1 segment, no saving throw. Here we go. When the very powerful Mind Blank spell is cast, the recipient is totally protected from all devices and or spells which detect, influence, or read emotions and or thoughts. Protection includes augury. Oh, that's interesting. Wait, protection includes augury. Wait, but how do you cast? You don't cast augury on people.
Yeah, but you'll see why as it goes forward. It also is divinations. So
okay.
Yeah.
Charm, command, confusion, divination, empathy, all forms, ESP, fear, feeble mind, mass suggestion, phantasmal killer, possession, rulership, soul trapping, suggestion, and telepathy. Cloaking protection also extends to prevention of discovery or information gathering by crystal balls or other scrying devices. Clairaudience, clairvoyance, communing, contacting other planes, or wish-related methods. Wishing, limited wish, alter reality. Of course, exceedingly powerful deities would be able to penetrate the spell's powers. Note that this spell also protects from psionic-related detection and or influence, such as domination or mass domination, hypnosis, invisibility, the psionic sword is mind-related, and precognition, plus those powers which are already covered as spells. So there it is. So, all right. So Carlos, it sounds like you've got experience with this. Obviously, what are you doing with this spell? Why do I want to cast
I'm casting it as soon as I wake up every morning because it lasts for 1 day. It protects you from all that good jazz. Keep in mind that its components are only verbal and somatic, so you're not expending expensive material components every day on it. It is just one of those spells that you should, if you have the ability to cast it, you should have it active at all times. Literally at all times.
So basically, it's like next to your bedside, your checklist for the day, like on the refrigerator.
Yep,
is like things to do. It's like eat fiber.
Cast Mind Blank. Mm-hmm. And it should be ahead of take a shower and go to the bathroom.
That's right, because of that little bit of. That's right. It's you really need to. Yeah. When does the day end? Would you rule out for 24? Is that a 24 hours? Is how you play? Like no matter what. So let's say I cast it before I go to bed. Do I get 24 hours?
It's a 24-hour deal.
So you think I could cast it each night? I just need to make sure that there's no slip up in that 24 hours.
That is correct.
But I can't cast it before the 20. Can I cast it before the 24 hours? Is there like a little bit of period of time where I'm vulnerable?
There's nothing prohibiting that.
Oh, so you think I could?
It could overlap, is what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have to have it. I would have to memorize it twice if it's going to overlap, right?
Well, keep in mind that the notion of memorization of spells, as you have to have 1 day to memorize everything, isn't explicitly true. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Oh, what does that mean?
Well,
there's a certain hour per level spell.
Oh, right.
Well, it's just funny. That's what I was looking up because it was 10 hours to memorize that spell.
Correct.
So the
oh my gosh.
So the good news is you could protect yourself. The bad news is literally half your day you're just resting and memorizing this spell.
So that's just for that spell, not for all your. So just that one spell alone.
Well,
it's what is it? An hour plus? Is it like an hour plus 15 minutes or something per? How does it?
I'll let Carlos explain.
Keep in mind one other thing, Dan, about that spell. One of the parts of the description on it is, of course, exceedingly powerful deities. Not just deities, exceedingly powerful deities.
You're right. Okay?
So the implication in that is it is powerful enough to resist even the divine at some level, like a hero god or a quasi-deity, if you're playing in the world of Greyhawk, which you should be, couldn't even penetrate it.
Yeah. So
wow.
So on page 40 is of the DMG, it talks about rest, and what Carlos is saying, and I agree with him, and this is how we used to play, is it just says you have to rest for the maximum. So you figure out the highest level spell you want to memorize. So let's say in this case you're a 16th level magic user, that's 8th level. You would have to rest 10 hours. Then it's 15 minutes per level of spell to actually learn the spell, because the resting is just relaxing. And you could memorize, and you could learn all kinds of spells. So then you would sit, I'm going to relearn Mind Blank and Fireball and Polymorph Self and blah, blah, blah. For each of those, it's 15 minutes per level. So you add them all up.
However, Daniel, if you're a 16th level magic user, you should already be at the level at which, well, you are already at the level at which you can craft custom magical items, and you can scribe scrolls. So you should be protected by Mind Blank most of the time.
Oh, okay. So if I
Just
don't,
a thought.
that's a great idea. So if I don't have a scroll, let's say, so what I need to do is I need to get 10 hours of rest.
Right.
That doesn't have to be sleep necessarily, does it? Can I like watch the football game for 2 hours before bed and then sleep 8 hours?
It says for complete rest, usually sleep is required, but so
usually,
yeah, you can't be doing other things.
I think that would depend. Like, for example, if I was watching the Bears this Monday, it wouldn't have worked at all.
Right, there would have been no
because
rest.
that's not restful at all.
At all. No, you would need to watch it, right, something you don't care. You need to watch like some random.
I would have been better off watching Hellraiser for 10 hours straight.
That's right. So you're okay. So all right. So the smart thing for me to do is to try to sleep for 10 hours. So right, and make sure no one bothers me, because if the cat wakes me up in the middle of the night, this could screw it up. This is very risky. So I need to sleep for 10 hours. Right, my familiar, get out of here. So I sleep for 10 hours, and then I get up, and then it is what? What is it? An hour? Is it an hour plus 15 minutes per spell level, or is it just 15 minutes? Yeah, 15 minutes per spell. So this is level 8. Oh, that's not that long. It's 2 hours though.
Right. So you spent half your day just preparing to relearn the spell.
But again, Dan, you're crafting custom magic items at 12th level anyway. So you should be making your shower a shower of mind blanking, in which when you run it, you wash it yourself over it.
Yeah.
And, hey, I've got mind blank.
This is where you lose your point of con, you get your permanence, and you make your shower of mind blank or the toothbrush.
Not exactly. This is where you cast charm on another wizard to make them cast permanence.
Yeah.
What are you guys talking about with the shower?
He's just using an example. The toothbrush of mind blank or the whatever.
Toothbrush of My Little Pony bobblehead of mind blanking.
So you can cast it on an item or something, and the item, what's the end game here?
The end game is just so you can have it like a magical item.
Oh, so
you can use it once per day. Hey, I get the effects of mind blank, and you don't have to memorize it.
Oh, so I create a magical item to
exactly. That's all I'm referring to. Yeah.
So it's like, hey, with this, like you could sell it. With this, you'll never have to worry about forgetting about or memorize, spending the time to learn mind blank, right? Buy this, and I got you. Okay.
Well, go ahead, Dan.
No, just to say, so that's a very good idea, though. That's to do mind blank every day.
But and this is where the high level play and being, I think this is where you more, and I don't mean that negatively because you haven't played. I've played mostly mid game, slightly high play. It's a total different mindset, and in later editions it even got more crazy because you have counter spells and contingency and this and that. And literally, it's you're stored all these spells. The magic user sits there and goes, okay, if I'm in the street and someone tries to cast magic missile, I fire up my shield spell and all these contingencies, and smart DMs like Carlos and them, they're going to have their bad guys have all these shields that you're going to have to beat down first before you actually.
Globe of Invulnerability is a joy for that. By the way, James, where was contingency published again? I can't remember.
It was not in. It was probably in the book that shall not be named.
Oh yeah, that's right. Come on, you can't bring it up and.
All right, so I said later editions. That's 1.5.
Okay.
All right. So yeah. Okay. But I still don't understand I understand the other spells, but I don't understand how
the auguries. But
is augury like if I did this against this dude? So like it protects people from knowing how their actions against you would work?
Yes.
You are you can't basically be the subject of any type of divination. Yeah. Essentially.
So if the party was in the other room and they said, "Is Dan the Demon Lord? If I go in this room, will it be bad for me because Dan the Demon Lord's in there?" It'll be like,
Right. Oh, it wouldn't lie. I guess it just wouldn't even work.
Right.
Nope.
Or
And then
is it good for me to go into this next room? Well, it wouldn't be able to factor in that Dan the Demon Lord, Archmage is in here.
Oh, do you think it would give false? So you think it would give a false
Well,
reading?
that would be interesting now.
Yeah, because otherwise they'd be like, you don't get no result. They're like, oh, that dude's in there. You got the mind blank.
But this is where,
It's not working.
if your deity is, like Moradin or some greater deity, to Carlos's point, they could see that. But if you're, if you're Saint Cuthbert is your patron deity, who's not as high up in the food chain, he wouldn't know. He wouldn't be able to see that.
Well, whoa, wait. Okay, now hold on. This brings up a very interesting question. So wait, are you saying that you believe that if your deity is a greater deity, that your augury spell can work? Because I would have thought it's based upon who's casting the spell.
No,
it's not. I get the spell. I pray for my augury spell and it's given to me.
Yeah, I see where James is going with this, in that the deity is the one who has to relay you the information anyway. So I guess it's what they're able to sense rather than what your spell is able to sense. You're just the spell is a conduit for deific knowledge. Yeah. In the way he looks at it, says I could see that argument, but for me, I would just have it fizzle.
Yeah, it says the cleric casting augury spell seeks to divine whether the action is immediate, and again, your referee will determine any adjustments, particular conditions for each augury. So you then have to decide how does this information get pertained. We know that second level spells are issued by the minor deity. The main deity doesn't give it. It's like a diva would give a second level spell. That's when it says a celestial creature provides the spells. If it's lower level, it says in deities and demigods. Diva's a perfect example. In fact, in the campaign I had, they never talked to their main deities. They're too big. They got the multiverse to deal with. They had a diva that would be their intermediaries, as an example, if they were good deities. So I like the idea. And again, you don't want to punish people from playing more interesting deities if they run Saint Cuthbert or Hextor or any of these other ones, but you'd have to be careful with that. But I could also read that saying, well, if he's a greater deity, and somehow I'm a 16th level cleric, and because again, if I'm a first level cleric trying to go after this 16th level mage, I got bigger problems than that. I would assume my major deity would not just allow me to walk in there and get whacked. That's my guess. Of course, I don't know if I'd be casting augury at that point either if I'm 16. There's a whole bunch of contingency with that.
Yeah.
All right, interesting. All right, I like it.
But it's a very powerful spell. Now, it's curious that Carlos would say it's his favorite, I guess, as a defensive spell. But, there are some pretty decent 8th level spells.
Yep.
But
something that gives you that much utility that lasts all day long on a single cast is really, really tough to ignore.
Yeah.
That I would have to say that it is, if not my favorite, it's definitely top 2 or 3.
Wow.
In fact, I'm trying to think of what would be higher than that. Maybe, I don't know.
Symbol's pretty good.
Polymorph any object is really, really nice.
Mend.
Clone is really good, of course, but that's kind of a static spell. I think, I'm going to say Mind Blank.
Mind Blank number one?
Number one for him.
Number 1 at 8th level.
Of all?
Of all the 8th level spells.
I got you. Okay.
Number one. My favorite spell period is Time Stop.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which
I kind of like delayed. I've never used. I kind of like delayed blast fireball.
Well, because you're simple. You're a man of simple tastes, which is good.
I am. I just want to blow up the market. Okay.
All right. Very good.
All right. Well, that was very fun. Are we on to?
We're on to our next thing. Are you ready for? Have you ever played a wizard in the heart of the Hobgoblin Lair?
I will be in a sec. So, what was the last thing?
Can't you write things down?
I thought you write them down.
I write down the things I'm responsible for. But I will start writing them down for you.
So now you know. Now you've been warned. No. So we fought the white. I
Yes,
remember that.
we fought the white.
Remember that. And then didn't we just do the giant? We did the giant centipede.
Yes,
didn't we
we
do the
did this giant centipede. Yes.
That was the last one because didn't we have someone? I think they were very smart. They said we should have just stepped on it.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, he died, right? Didn't he? He died with the from the giant centipede.
I believe so.
And he should have stepped on it.
I've been dead for a long time, so it doesn't matter.
Right. But okay. But so yes, it was the giant centipede, and you know how I'll know? I can look at the answer, and it's all the same. Remember that?
Right. You were
it was
very unhappy about that.
Well, I don't know if he was just being lazy. We should give him the benefit of the doubt because Kelly, our friend,
right.
I'm sure he was trying to. Okay, we're on to F. Here we go. Now, Carlos, I don't know if you're familiar with this segment. So this is from First Encounter magazine by our friend Kelly Villamere. And,
I am familiar with this one. This is the choice, the multiple choice one, right?
This is basically choose your own adventure.
Yep, I know this segment. This is a fun segment.
Thank you. So you are playing. We are all playing Elron Baroon, who is an evil or a chaotic evil magic user. And here we go. And so we are trying to recover from the hobgoblin lair. You're trying to recover an item that has been taken from you of some kind. So the gem, right? Stole the gem of spell restoring, which you'd gotten for your birthday. All right. After squelching the little crud, you proceed on your way. The corridor seems to lead you in a single direction. No doors or side passages to take in this part. As you near a bend, you hear a lot of screaming and the sound of many feet running towards you. About 40 feet ahead of you, from around the bend, you see 5 kobolds running straight at you, yelling with their spears in hand. Upon spotting you, they come to a complete stop, their faces full of surprise. They quickly look behind them, then commence directly at you, running and screaming. You decide to, number 1, quickly cast a fireball on them. 2, cast a sleep spell on them, then proceed. 3, cast burning hands on them, then attack with dagger. 4, cast magic missiles at the first 2, then attack the others by quickly throwing a dart, then attack with dagger. 5, attack immediately with dagger. 6, use protection from evil scroll on self, then attack with your dagger. 7, cast an ice storm on them. 8, cast slow spell on them, then attack with dagger. 9, use haste scroll on self, then attack with dagger. 10, cast continual light in front of them, then attack with dagger and melee after throwing dart at first one. So there we go. 1 is fireball, 2 sleep, 3 burning hands, 4 magic missiles, 5 dagger, 6 protection from evil, then dagger, 7 ice storm, 8 slow spell, then dagger, 9 haste scroll, then dagger, 10 continual light, then dagger. Dart, then dagger.
Right. So Carlos, you're our guest. You can either go first or last. Which would you prefer?
I don't mind going first.
Okay.
I'll take the sleep option.
Very practical. Makes perfect sense. Dan?
I was going with the same.
Anything that did not have to do with engaging them directly, because whatever's following them, I want distance from. So give me the sleep option.
Oh, very smart. Because they were looking behind. That's right.
You're clearly being followed by something.
Mm-hmm.
So Dan, what are you doing?
I'm doing number 2. I like the sleep spell as well.
Who does number 2 work for? He works for Dan. Got it. Okay. See, unfortunately, there's not one that would be obvious for Dan to do, like a polymorph into a kobold and try to parlay. Yeah, try to parlay. Or
come here, guys. Come here, boys.
Charm kobold or something like that. So
right.
The second choice is what's the most over the top? It's either Ice Storm or Fireball. I feel like Ice Storm just seems like, when's the chance you're going to cast an Ice Storm on kobolds in the dungeon? So for me, was it 3 to 30 or something? That sounds super fun. So I'm going with Ice Storm. Complete overkill. And I'm hoping, I would think Fireball, because if they're being chased, I'd probably shoot the fireball down the hallway a little bit and blow back and hopefully get whatever's getting them. Because I'm evil. I don't care I assume everything's in their way. So that was my other thing.
That's true.
So, but I'll go with Ice Storm because that sounds fun.
Okay.
All right, let's see what we got for choices out on the... and David Thompson picked Ice Storm too, so I feel much better.
Yeah.
Dorgrim waves at Carlos, by the way, and Shannon says 5. Okay, so we got 10 seconds. If you want to make your choices, do that now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, Dan.
Yeah, so if you didn't make your choice, you basically you had no action and you were surrounded and slain.
That's right.
By kobolds and your body looted. Okay.
Oh, we got a 7 too. Okay. So a few of us picked 7. Yeah, a few of us picked Ice Storm.
So we only have ones. We only have ice 7s and 2s. It looks like. Is that
yeah,
right?
That's right.
Okay. All right. So fireball. It would have worked. No damage. Plus, oh, James. Plus, it destroys the next creature up ahead. That was good thinking.
Thank you.
You could have had that. Okay. Number 2, sleep spell. It works. No damage. So Carlos, and I, and anyone else who picks sleep live to fight. Next episode. 3, same as F2. So burning hands would have worked, and then attacking them with daggers. So that's interesting. That would seem kind of risky, but it worked. 4, magic missile. It works. Kelly's getting too nice. It works, but take 2 hit points of damage in melee with the last kobold. So I don't know why you took melee damage on that one, but not the burning hands. But so be it. 5 was attack with dagger. You kill them all, but take 6 hit points of damage. Yep. So Kelly reminding you, don't go right into melee if you're a magic user. 6, protection from evil, then attack with dagger. You kill them all, but take 4 hit points of damage. Here we go, guys. 7, same as F2. It works, no damage. So we're all in the same boat. F8, which was the slow spell, then dagger. It worked, but you would have taken 2 hit points of damage. 9, the haste scroll, then with dagger. Same as F8, which would have been at work, 2 hit points of damage. And the continual light, and then dart and dagger also would have worked, but you would have taken 2 hit points of damage. It sounds like everyone came out of this unscathed. Is that correct?
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
Against 5 kobolds versus 8th level magic user, it should be a pretty good event there. I'm just saying.
But melee would be quite risky, though, wouldn't it? I mean,
right.
I was going to say in reality, but I mean, even though you're level 8. Your hit charts are terrible, right? Are you only on like the second one on the hit thing? If you're a magic user, 1 to 4, 5 to 8, or something terrible?
Right. Yeah, it's not good.
It's awful. And you're doing you have a +2 dagger, and I think that and your hit points. Oh well, you started with 20. Wow, that's a lot of hit points. How do you have 29 hit points?
Could have a familiar.
Yeah, level 8, 29 hit. It doesn't indicate. That's a lot of hit points, isn't it?
Could have a special familiar.
Well, I do have a set. Do I have a familiar?
If you have a familiar, or if you have if you have a high constitution, so you get the +2 every level, it could happen.
I have a 17 con.
Yeah.
So
there you go. So you're gonna get 2 hit points every level. So that's 16 right there.
That is 16 right there. Actually, I'm a little bit low then, right? Because then that is 13 for level 8. That's actually a little bit low.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. That's interesting. Have you guys ever done that with a magic user? Put a high number in con? Is a high number in con in many?
High number in con is almost a prerequisite if you want to live for a magic user.
Yeah.
Although keep this in mind, all right? The familiar option, if you're an evil magic user and you get a quasit for your familiar, you're going to have more hit points on average than your 3rd or 4th level fighter will, because it's a 4+4 hit, or a 3+3 hit die creature. Adding to its hit points to you within 100 feet, it's gonna you can really do. You can take some damage as a low level magic user, depending on the familiar you get.
Yeah,
I froze Dan up with that when that was like.
That was good. Yeah,
stunned.
well, because he was eating cereal, so.
I'm muted. Did I actually freeze?
As soon as you.
I can't even mute it. So I can't even eat my blueberry now.
No one cares. If they listen to this show, they assume whatever's coming out of your mouth is crunchy noise anyway. So it's okay. Out of love. All right. So I know, Carlos, you were not able to partake in the Dragon 42. I don't know if you got a chance to review it or not. But we are celebrating 1980. So if you could, I would be happy to share my screen if you want. I could share Dragon 42 so you could play along.
No, go ahead. I will. I'll just pull it up right here. I have all my source materials.
Okay,
right
perfect.
Here, right,
so you got it. Excellent. So
you said Dragon number
Dragon 42 is what we're going to go over because it's 1980 and we're reviewing all the White Dwarves and Dragons from that year.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so I'm gonna. So unfortunately, Carlos, this is not a reflection of your visage or your look, but I'm kind of obscuring you so that our fans can see that. So I do apologize.
Perfectly fine with me.
So later, if you look back and go, "Why does James hate me?" That's not that. So, all right. So we are looking at Dragon 42, which is obviously the Halloween special. So the cover's halfway decent. They go back and forth. It's a little fun, Halloween-esque, right, Dan? Oh, you're chewing, so I will not bother you.
See it anyway for whatever reason, but
Hey, I can't hear you now. Your sound is really bad. Did you do something?
Yeah, it's because your mic is over your head.
Okay, there you go.
exactly. So yeah, I can't see it, but that's
Okay,
I remember it, and it was
All right, so the next thing I have on my thing, Dan, is they talk about Gen Con, which again I'm not going to go over too much. There's a lot of luminaries in this magazine. Gary has a thing. Jim Ward's adventure is in here. It almost reminded me of what you said. Janelle Jakeways wrote the Kids with Bikes kind of thing because it's more of it's AD&D, but it's more of a modern adventure. Do you know? Is that fair?
Right. Yes, right. Yeah, it's kids going into I think a haunted house, and so yes, that's correct.
Oh man, Len Lakofka.
Yeah, we were
rest
going
in
to talk
peace.
about that. Yeah, I mean, it's he wrote a very good article about the planes, and for those who may have not heard, last week or so, Len, after battling I think leukemia for a while, unfortunately passed from it. Someone who. And actually, probably Carlos knows way more than Dan and I do. Just, really one of the people who had contributed so much to this hobby. Do you have any other thoughts on that, Carlos?
Well, for those of you guys who are enthusiasts of the world of Greyhawk, he's really an important creator because not only did he write L1 through 3, which are Secret of Bone Hill, Assassin's Knot, and Deep Dwarven Delve, which all take place on the Lendor Isles. Gary Gygax allowed him to help shape the world of Greyhawk by creating the Sul pantheon of gods, essentially. The gods of the Sul were all created and they were developed by Len. He was a very important creator. This is in addition to stuff like Leomund's Tiny Hut and all the references to Leomund that are sprinkled through the world of Greyhawk's history. So yeah, he very important creator. The man himself, he was a bit prickly from time to time. I'm not going to lie, but he was a monster creator.
Yeah, I know he had so much content, and it was interesting because some of it was very held the orthodoxy, and others it was very clear. Like he had his own vision of how he saw AD&D in this case, first edition. Some of it was definitely, well, this is what I would do, and I think that is a sign of people really taking the game seriously. The people that I know, when they're interested in either expanding the canon or changing rules, it's usually not because they want to change it. It's because they're so passionate about what they want to get out of the game that they do that. So again, we extend our thoughts to Len's family during this difficult time. But he does write an article in here.
Yeah, and I always, so he reviewed, right, as I understand it, he reviewed the manuscripts of the Player's Handbook and the GMG.
That is correct.
Right, and provided comments to Gary. And do we know if we know what changes he was responsible for? Because if we had him on the show, and we certainly were hoping to have had him on the show, and that obviously didn't happen. But I would have been interested to know what changes did he suggest that happened?
Len's probably his best known rule set that he is responsible for was actually employed in the the book that shall not be named, as you guys like to call it. Len was responsible for creating a class released in Dragon Magazine called the Archer. And the Archer had a certain set of skill mechanics based around it that would end up being the basis for weapon specialization.
Oh, okay. Okay,
and, yeah, instead of just having an Archer class, there was a specialization that was added towards the fighter classes to make all of them a bit more robust. And because there was the argument back in the day, and I can't understand why this happened, but that the fighters were so grossly underpowered in AD&D. Nobody wanted to play a straight fighter. So,
yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the weapon specialization certainly empowered them dramatically.
Yeah, I know that. Right, that was a significant change, to be sure.
Nistles is what Dorgrim is saying as well on the chat.
Yeah, a lot of people think that that's attributed to Dennis Nistel. I thought it was, and it's not. It's actually Len.
Interesting. Well, we'll look at his contribution to this. So kind of what my highlights to this, and Dan, you can chime in. So the first thing is Out on the Limb. So the first letter is about basically, we've talked about women in D&D, and the writer, Catherine's like, hey, if people don't like what, women are 10% of the hobby. If women don't like what they see, they should take their money and go somewhere else. So it's interesting to see that perspective back then.
And who's the author of that letter?
Catherine
James?
Kerr.
If you Google, I believe if you Google that, I believe she writes for the Dragon magazine. She submits stuff, and she
becomes quite a famous author as well.
Isn't that interesting? It's so neat to see that, isn't it? Where it's just this letter, and then you Google these names, and it turns out that they become famous authors. So that's right. So yeah, I thought that was interesting too. But so they were complaining, right? So people were complaining back. I mean, we still deal with this, right? They were complaining back in the day about the image of the female character scantily clad and all that. And so that's we saw that happening back then. So I thought I like that letter.
And then later there's another article of someone was taking issue with how women were being adjusted their stats, and people taking it a little too seriously one way or another. So
because female, right? So if you're a female character, it's only negative for you, right? Because you're limited in your strength, and I think what apparently someone had written in that you need to give some negatives for men. Their dexterity should be like a max of 17 or something. Because
well, this again, it's funny that you should have said your comment about this, James, was especially salient because this is something we're still dealing with today. I mean, this is a major controversy right now in the 5e game. So it's funny how history really does. Our history as gamers does not see any of these issues being resolved. Essentially,
this is bad. Right, that's actually the bad news. That this has been going on since 1980. And it's now
40 years on.
It's 40 years on, and so in 2060 they'll still be having that debate.
So speaking of that, on page 5 is it says, wasn't 1980 fun? Iran and Afghanistan, elections and scandals, drought and disaster. Now we have a year looked forward to in 1981 with Days of the Dragon. You could just literally replace 1980 with 2020, like we just said.
Yes, you could.
Wasn't 2020 fun? It was on page 5 of the Dragon, so I took a chuckle when that
said nobody whatsoever.
And my disappointment is it's very hard to find Days of the Dragon magazines nowadays, and that's very disappointing, right? Because we looked for the 1980 and you can't find it, and I'm sure that Carlos. I would assume that Darlene had, because I think Darlene contributed to that one.
It was funny you should say that. I was just thinking to myself, if Darlene, I wonder if she has a copy of it. I'll have to ask her about that.
Yeah. All right. What's next? Because there's some in there that I really liked. I liked this edition a lot. It's probably the favorite issue.
The next piece of artwork is
so it says things to tease, tempt, and terrify, which again I find interesting. Because they have, speaking of a semi-naked or fully naked woman looking over by a goat deity, demon with skeletons. So didn't we just go over the satanic panic that they were trying to humiliate people with this? So that's when
it gets worse with our friend Lou Pulsifer later in this issue. But is that the one? I assume that was
it does look like Orcus.
Yeah, it is. It's got to be Orcus.
Okay, I love that picture. So I hadn't seen the one, and I don't see it up here, but I remember looking at it and just absolutely loving it. Because number one, I never thought of Orcus as sort of like this, like he's got like this big belly, doesn't he, in this picture, and he's like sitting there on this throne. Right. And I just had this image of Orcus as just sort of like this, big sort of heavy set king. And and the poor skeleton, he looks frightened. Doesn't that skeleton look like he's not unintelligent? Doesn't that skeleton look like he's in big trouble?
He's got that kind of pout. He's a pouting skeleton almost, yeah.
Is that me? I didn't mean it, sir. I'm sorry. It just gave me this idea of Orcus, like having a personality, right? And having these poor skeletons scared to death of this guy, So I loved that. I thought,
literally,
yes. I just
but good to have the naked woman there as you're trying to prevent the satanic panic, which was always the thing. So moving.
Could you imagine Catherine Kerr opening up Dragon magazine, going, "Oh my God, my letter got published in this one. This is awesome. I'm buying a bunch of copies of it." Then she turns a couple pages. Oh.
They got me.
So the next one is Demons, Devils, and Spirits. And again, I'm keep looking back and going, you can do a lot of Halloween things. And, we read a few articles back going, they had an advertisement for, hey, if you're a cleric or some, person who plays D&D, let us know, because, they were already starting to deal with this. And I guess here they're going full, we'll figure it out. So I was interested.
Oh, maybe what they're trying to do is they're trying to embrace the whole, no advertising is bad advertising.
Yeah. So there's some new demons, or not even demons. They're creatures and spirits that you could flavor your character. So I read the Aspirum. Dan, aspirum, the Latin for rough, bitter, harsh, particularly in the sense of exasperation. Exasperation is the key word to describe the aspirum's personality. The aspirum are sort of super imps. They take delight in annoying any creature near them, in frustrating others and torturing them mentally. They're not actively evil. Whatever physical harm they do is usually accidental. Now, who does that sound like?
Gnomes.
Or you.
Or what?
I thought of you. Yes.
Me?
You're the aspirum. I have a class for you now. They're lesser devils. Let's see, because if asked for information, will always direct the party along the worst path possible. They will not give the same answer twice in a row to the same question. Okay, you say so. Yes, you say so. So, what did you like about this article? Anything specific?
What were the ones? Because I can't see it. Which I don't think
the Hamaculi or Hakamuli, I'll say. The Aspirum, the Apollon from the Greek destroyer, and the Seraphis.
No, I don't think any of those really excited me that much. I mean, and I guess it's not part of this. I liked that the spirit.
Okay, that's later. Yeah, that's in the
later. Yeah,
terrible monsters really kind of thing. Then you had the possessors. The new evil, the possessors, and these creatures that obviously possess people, and there's a whole thing of possession, which again, we're so worried about being labeled as satanic panic, you've got literally how to possess people.
And they name check Satan in this article multiple times. Are you kidding me?
That's right. It's the Slem, the second to Satan's lieutenant. I mean, just have the pentagram out and sacrifice. Here's a cookbook there. So
wow, that's good
exorcisms.
Stuff. And it gets better.
Then the next one is patron demons. Yes. So page 12 by our dear friend Lou Pulsifer.
Making a pact with a demon, selling your soul to
rock and roll.
Yes, how to go about it. And so I do like this article, and I think we may have talked about this with Lou. But oh my
God,
right? do you do with this? I mean,
I'm reading the example right now. This is classic.
It's like a math problem.
What do you do with it? Do you actually, as a PC, be like, yeah, DM, I got the latest Dragon magazine, and I would like to do this.
I couch this in 1980s terms, okay? We ride our bikes over to James's, okay? And James is our DM.
Right.
And James, since TSR is publishing Dragon, those rules are official, right? We can use stuff from there, right?
Yeah, you don't tell him what it is.
Yeah, whatever. He's trying to play Atari
Exactly.
or whatever.
Right.
You and me look at each other so excited. We're going to sacrifice some elves.
That article is wonderfully disturbing. I mean, what's so great about it? It's written just so straight-faced, of course. Like it's like nothing. So number one, what are you doing with? So for those of you, to get everyone up to speed, right? And they're probably seeing this is a way for you to have a patron demon, to sell your soul to this demon, and then of course you got to keep your end of the contract. In which you need to have, it's like a lot of sacrifices.
You got to keep it going, which again goes back to what we've talked about. If you're selling your soul, you don't want to end up as just the mains that's going to be ripped apart by a demon. You're going to run up the score so you can hopefully go to the abyss and be on the fast track to become something pretty good. So
at least be like in the past.
What this beggars to me, is the very first sentence of this thing, though. Any chaotic evil player characters, hold the presses right here, okay?
Right.
Is this really where we're going with our campaign? Is that what is this what we want to do here? I just want to throw that out there. I mean, I'm not advocating not playing evil characters or whatever, but you don't do that so cavalierly, okay?
Yeah, because you would have, and I can't remember. I don't have it up in front of me, but you have to be chaotic evil.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right here. It's the very first line in it.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm chaotic evil. Right. So number one, I'm playing chaotic.
Yes, you are.
So that you're absolutely right, Carlos. So number one, that means you've got a chaotic evil character, which is somewhat, and then number two, then you have to be like, okay, I want to sell my soul to a demon. And then I guess this is the way that, hey, I don't like anything in the deities and demigods. I don't like that divine intervention. I want demonic intervention. But the thing that's most disturbing is that you've got to then, your character has to have a bunch of side adventures where you sacrifice people, elves, and And then
the frequency of it.
Please tell me that's actually happening off camera. Like you're telling your DM, hey, we're going to hand wave this. Even if you're going to go down that road, please tell me you're not playing that out.
Yeah. Could you see it? That's at like the beginning of the session. So James says, like, he's got the game. We're like, Carlos, you're there. You brought the Cheetos. I got the Mountain Dew, and we got our other friends. And like, okay, we got any administrative issues? James says, I'd like to buy a longsword. Is there one in town and all that? And we're like, we'd like to sell our. Carlos and I have been talking, and we'd like to sell our souls.
Is there a slave?
And you can just hear a pin drop in the room. Right. James crunches on a Cheeto. It sounds like echoes in the room.
An orange cloud pops out. He kind of does. What do you do when you sprays and coughs and like orange?
It looks like Jubilex.
Right. Or you bring you bring in someone. Hey, we're playing Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, I heard it's a scary game. No, it's not scary at all. And
elves,
and is it about is it okay for women? Oh yeah, sure. It's very it lets you play. So this poor person shows up and Dan goes.
Catherine Kerr shows up. She
Dan. We're in trouble. The party's in trouble. Okay, well, you remember I sacrificed those 100 elves last time. I've banked up like a 58% chance of getting a minor deity to help, so I'm going to roll that. And
right.
Are there some small children around here I can sacrifice on my portable altar so I can get a maximum chance here? Because.
And then Dan just looks over at Catherine. Don't worry, they were all guys.
Right. It's like, where did we leave off last time? Yeah, I was about to sacrifice that small child. Okay, let's go ahead and roll for that. And
the example is just so great. It feels like something you take on the SAT or a standardized test. A 6th level magic user sacrificed 12 captured elves, all together in the last 4 weeks. He has not called his patron demon in that time. Calculate his chance of success, and it gives you, you have to figure out the formula. Assuming he succeeds, and he rolls this, he could get a prince, a lesser demon, or the remainder of the monster monster summoning spell. He gets and then he determined the type of demon. It's just awesome. It's great.
It's hilarious because it's so straight-faced. Yeah, that article's a winner.
So the next one is the Restless Dead, which I kind of passed over. I mean, I get it's good.
No, stop.
What?
Stop. No.
Oh, it's great.
It's
okay.
great.
Go ahead. I'm glad you read
great.
it. What makes it so great?
No, this is wonderful because remember it was in one of the last issues we read where it's basically rules designed to create a disincentive for party members to loot the dead body, which is great to know that 40 years they were doing that too, right? I mean, that's like, don't feel bad. It's been going on for 40, 50 years now that the party just loots the dead body. And it was rules to create an incentive to actually to bury the bodies, to not loot, right, to bury it, and to not loot the body. You had to pay the money. I always complained about this. I'm like, if you're lawful good, you can't be like looting the body. There's probably a will. There's an order of inheritance here for who's getting the stuff. You're stealing, and so which isn't a lot of fun to say.
Know what I take out of this? The first thing that jumps out to me about this that I think is really cool. Do you notice the first monster that they mention is the Haunt in here?
Yeah.
The Haunt's first appearance, unless I'm wrong here, is A2 Secret of the Slaver Stockade. And I'm not wrong. That was released in 1981. This book is released in 1980, so this actually predates it.
Very cool. Very cool.
Interesting.
And that is very cool. Yeah, it's very interesting. And I thought, so this was remember you had to pay the weregilt or whatever, and the widows, whatever. And this is a DM saying, that's not enough. You need more. And so when you do not bury the body properly or pay the money to the widow, then depending on the alignment, you either get a haunt or you get a skeleton, a zombie, which I loved. Did you read that? The zombie turns into a skeleton. The flesh falls off the zombie slowly and it turns into a skeleton, or you get a vampire, and they hunt you down. They haunt you. And,
why are you worried about this since we're all playing evil characters anyway?
Right? Yeah, right. Exactly. Right. I'm just going to call my patron demon. So, these are my buddies. Hey, guys. So I love this, man. This is a way to mess with, I don't know what you really do with this. I mean, I know it's not a lot of fun. It's not an adventure. But I just think it was hilarious that there's, it comes back and it haunts you. It bothers you. The party deserves that for looting the body. And the zombie touches you or something and you turn into a zombie. I love all that stuff.
Well, this is basically D&D probate. If you do not figure out, if you don't fill out your goldenrod character sheet and make the will very explicit and people don't honor it, then you get D&D probate, which is nasty, expensive, full of lawyers, full of rules, bad things happen.
Right.
You got it. So fill out your character sheets, people, and say, if I die, this is what I give my sword to Bob. I give this to that, and give the rest to charity or whatever. And the other players need to honor it. That's the system. If not, then bad things happen.
So it's like a commercial. Do you want to avoid probate? Years of being in City of Greyhawk probate court. Notice use goldenrod character sheets, right? You'll see the will there. So and you need to make sure it's witnessed by two citizens.
I assume so. So at least that's the rule. So the next,
well,
it was good.
So
I'll probably read it again. To be frank,
we should use those rules. If we run a campaign, I want to use those rules. So you should read it.
That will be the focus of the campaign: the character death and its adjudication. That's great. Awesome.
Yes.
Sounds good.
The probate campaign.
I go back to Carlos's thing about lawyers. That's all I have to say, right? So,
right.
So then the next one is Making Monsters Meaningful, which is a Gary Gygax advice, which I did read because I was focused on what Gary said, not probate machinations. So it was good. Basically play your, don't be a killer DM, don't be a Monty Hall DM, and play your like he said in the DMG, give the monsters a break, an even break. And he gave some examples here. So I thought that was pretty good. But it's interesting, these two new spells from the G series, it's, again, looking back, you realize, this is that time frame. I did not read the history of Pawn. Like we've said, we don't read the history. We're terrible when it comes to that. Sage Advice is back. which is on page 22.
Before you go any further, I'm looking at the advertisement between the two of them, where Azoki distributors, where Luzoki would end up being game science, and this seems to predate that.
Oh, interesting.
Or either that was a kind of a side thing for them.
On page 17. Yeah, it's just interesting going back to how some of these origins things are. So, so sage advice. What I found interesting here, Dan, on page 22, because you have claimed that sage advice is not canonical, correct?
I know exactly what you're going to say. I read that too. It is not. It is not canon. It is not official. Well, here's the problem. We go round and round and round and round. So sage advice said that they weren't official, but I guess if they're official, no, this doesn't go round and round. If they're official, then when they say they're not official, then they're officially not official. And if they're not official and they say they're not official, well, they're not official because they weren't official in the first place. So they're not official.
James, what were you saying about lawyers again?
You guys joke about lawyers, but let's face it. People who like, particularly first edition, they're all lawyer-like. You may say you're
it's
a
true.
lawyer, but even the rules lawyers are really just the uber rules lawyers. Everybody in first edition, because they're all everybody turns into a rules lawyer when they're trying to get the benefit of something. They're turning and flipping and turning to find that rule, to make that argument. Hey, the deity, it says here, I'm going to accost you, Carlos, at the Grogcon bazaar or whatever, to complain to you that you didn't give me augury. Because look here, Carlos, it says exceptional or greater gods can do it, and I'm a greater god. All right.
It's so cute. You think I don't already get mail like that from people who read my modules?
Do you really? Do you really? Do you get people sending you messages like, hey, I think you got this wrong?
It's mostly stuff about like it's not really so much rules that are wrong as it's interpretation of rules.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay.
They feel like they want to tell me about their interpretations of rules so that I can use them in the future.
And we get some of that too. I mean, I think that's healthy. I don't have a problem with that. What I think is a little, there's two things. One, when we get people who say something that's clearly incorrect, something like, and incorrect as far as what's in the text, and I'll use gauntlets of ogre strength give you 25 strength. Okay, and they'll put it out there somewhere because we're talking about strength. And then you feel like, do I have to correct them? Do I have to? So then, and how do you do that without sounding like a jerk? So you say, oh, well, that's interesting. I read here, I have to say, on page 78 of the DMG, it says they're 1800. And okay, but the other ones is interpretation, just like we were talking, just like the random encounter where we're going back and forth, or the deity minding. Either argument could be made, and that's this is why AD&D is the college football of fantasy or RPGs. Is you can fight back and forth, and that's what makes half the game. As long as in the end you can make your case, the DM adjudicates, and you move on. It becomes a problem when it's on and on and on and on. So Dan, I'm glad you read the same thing. So what I mentioned here is because Dan has said this is not canonical, but here on page 22 of the Dungeon of Dragon, also sage advice is intended as a means for players to obtain definitive answers to questions concerning a discrepancy or contradiction in the rules.
Yeah, that is interesting. And I'm pretty sure the non-canonical stuff comes from. That was stated somewhere in Sage Advice, I believe, but I don't know where it is. Oh, wait. Okay, so I've got this, I've got this big rule thing that I did, and actually I've got it here. It says, after that, it says, Dragon Magazine's Sage Advice columns, which were not official rulings, see Polyhedron number 8. So that's interesting. So Polyhedron comes along, and then says it after the fact, which is interesting.
What time is Polyhedron number 8, roughly? Is that after 1980?
That's a good question. I don't know. It's RPGA, right? I don't know when Polyhedron number 8 is. So that's All right. Well, so we don't even know if Sage Advice is. Well, Polyhedron would override it, wouldn't it? If it comes later, I mean, or I don't know. polyhedron's official. So polyhedron said they're official. If polyhedron says they're official, okay,
Well, it
this
came out in
complicated.
1982 based on what I'm reading here, but
Okay, here's the problem I've got with polyhedron saying they're official. Who is that that's saying that? Did Gary bless that? I mean, I have a lot of trouble saying anything's official if Gary didn't say it.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Are you guys with me or what?
I think that's the first litmus test. I think there's several degrees of official. I don't think that there's things that are more official than others.
And
yeah.
And I'll give you a good example of that. And I'm not saying this just to bring up this text again, but Unearthed Arcana. Is it official or not?
Is.
You guys have one opinion.
It's totally official.
Right.
It's totally.
It is.
Is it? But I mean, there's so many people I know out there that don't consider
it's official.
it official. It's supplementary.
But to me, it is. We have said that our games, when we run them, the last text that we're going to use as a set is Fiend Folio or Monster Magnitude, depending on if it's Dan or James. And then, because how can you, anything up until 1989 has to be, because it's first edition, it's released products. You can.
I tend to agree with you, but like I said, I've heard that argument thrown out there.
Well,
would you consider it official? Yeah.
Well, I think it is official. To me, it's a timing issue. So to me, it's not that I'm rejecting things that are official. I'm just placing a chronological line and saying it has to be. I'm pretending I'm recreating 1984. So that's what I'm doing, right? I'm recreating 1984. So
yeah, for him, it's not a thing of future. It's just we stop, and me personally, I stopped buying stuff probably 1985. We had Unearthed Arcana, but then anything after that we didn't have. I'm sure other things happened. We just didn't use them because we had enough at that point.
Well, let's face it, guys. We're all playing something that one could argue is no longer official. I mean, I think Gary at some point said, look, 1E's dead, right? 1E's gone. It's 5E. One could make an argument that 5E supersedes everything and that, anything before 5E is now unofficial. So. All right. What did I say?
Sorry.
What's happening?
That was like
this is Dan. He takes all sides. But what I also found interesting in this is that Gene Wells, our dear friend Gene Wells, basically got pushed out here. It looks like.
So let's talk. So there's Sage Advice disappears for several issues, right? Which we've been very sad about because I love Sage Advice, right? Sage Advice is gone, and then it reappears. And it announces, right? They announced that they need more people, and Gene is gone, and we've got what do we have? Will Niebling and
I believe
Jim
so.
Ward,
They're the ones who answered this one, correct?
So so you sort of wonder: has she been booted? Gary didn't like the fact that she said that magic users can cast spells and hold a dagger at the same time because he thinks you need two hands. To do the movements, and she's got the Palace of the Silver Queen business, I guess. So I don't know. What do you think? Is she booted because of that? Is she persona non grata?
Well, it says here, again, she's still part of TSR at this point, but she will answer on an occasional basis. Now the question is, we should go forward and see if she ever answered another one. Okay.
We'll find out. It's a shame. I loved her sense of humor. I thought she was great. I loved her Sage Advice. But what were some of the questions on that?
I didn't see any super controversial ones. I think the only one that was kind of useful, because I've heard question, can a cleric attack while turning undead? What happens if he or she is hit while striking to turn undead? The ruling here is that's your action for the round, turning, which is how we've usually played it. But it clarifies that if you are hit, as long as you're not killed, the turning will continue. It doesn't spoil the turn. It's not like the power of, okay, and you fail it. You can continue even though you're being wailed on.
Okay, there's something, that is true, so that's good to know too. There's something else significant in there. Do you know what might be significant in there? Is that the grog line? I don't doubt it. Do you know, there's something else significant in that answer? I think, is that Will?
Yeah.
I think it was Will Niebling who's answered it. Okay, do you know there's something else interesting in there. Can you figure out what it is?
The clerics are empowered with the ability to turn away undead. The success of it is dependent on the cleric's level and opportunity, since the clerics must be in a position to place himself before the undead, have time to speak and display a religious symbol. Okay.
You already said it.
Speak, yeah.
Speak.
Well, I've always said you had to
speak.
speak. Yeah.
That's actually the players. Okay, here you go. This is why I got a problem with polyhedron. And it was dispel confusion, right? Was their sage advice equivalent? So the cleric, this is Player's Handbook 104. Gary, the cleric must be in a position to step before the undead, and he or she must have time to speak and hold forth the religious symbol to turn the undead. So it is, the classic
Right.
vampire, go back. And I love that, right? Do you, Carlos, when I bet you don't play too much, but my guess is if you played a cleric, or if you're playing NPC cleric, you would probably have them doing a whole sort of like talking.
Absolutely. It's a great vehicle for role playing.
Right? Yeah, you're talking about your deity. This is what polyhedron number 17 said. Polyhedron, however, states that there is no verbal component for cleric turning. How can you say that? How can you say that? Forget about sage advice. Gary said it in the Player's Handbook, and that's a big deal because
Right.
if you've got a silent spell, that's not necessarily an insignificant issue. So
But
that's
I
one of the
reject
problems I have.
polyhedron, and in fact, that was the thing you used to screw me out of something. So I have to go back to the original episodes where you use polyhedron to cudgel me, and I'm going to reverse that. So
I'll tell you what, actually, when I'm reading this article, Jim Ward actually, I think he made me physically ill with his answer about gauntlets of ogre power and girdles of giant strength. So you're to tell me that if I'm wearing girdles of giant strength and I punch somebody, I'm going to do damage to myself because the girdle doesn't protect me.
yeah, that's what he was saying.
Yeah, he says your hand. Yeah, that's why it's lower. So Carlos, does that strike you as, so the question there, so for people, of course,
It strikes me as incredibly pedantic, is what it strikes me as.
And so where that came from, so people were listening and not watching, right? So and I remember Doug James from our group pointed this out, if I recall, that there is a wide XP discrepancy between right the gauntlets of what ogre power and and then the girdle of giant. Right, and it make a lot of sense because the giant's stronger than the ogre, but the ogre one, right, was getting a lot more XP. Do you, and this was an explanation of why, because you could hurt your hand if you've got the gauntlet.
This is a rationalization to support Gary's incorrect position, in my opinion. This is not an explanation.
They should have just said, we should have gave it 1200 XP. And
that's exactly what they should have said. This is ugly.
Well, and I don't know if we've ever asked Carlos this, polyhedron is where this neutral cleric business played out, where finally there was disagreements in one polyhedron. They weren't sure. They went to people. Everyone had a different opinion on neutral clerics and turning. Then ultimately they issue a ruling in polyhedron, which is declared to be official, which my guess is it was declared to be official probably in large part to sell polyhedron would be my guess. And they say that chaotic clerics are treated as evil and for turning, would make you befriend them, and lawful are not. They're treated like good clerics. I don't know. Carlos, what is your thoughts on that? I mean, we play that, James, right? We play that because it was in polyhedron. I'm starting to have doubts about whether we should treat polyhedron as official. It wasn't Gary. And I don't know, that chaotic neutral cleric business befriending undead is mildly unsettling. And are more undead, what's the theory behind that? Are more undead chaotic? I mean, that should only work with chaotic undead.
One of the greatest innovations that second edition, in my opinion, had was that every priest of every god had different abilities based on their deity. And they were spelled out what they were. For example, there was a little citation: if you worship Istis, can you turn undead or can you command them? If you worship Zanye, what is it? If you worship Palor, which is it? That dispelled confusion, if you don't pardon the pun, on that issue. I find what they said in polyhedron to not ring true to me. It doesn't ring true to me.
Yeah, and what you just said about an addition that won't be named makes sense to me. I mean, I love this stuff. I think that clerics are not played oftentimes like we'd want them to be. And this idea of having, we know our friend Dan Collerton, right, wrote his last article in White Dwarf, was saying, look, if you have a fire deity, you should get these spells. And he had new ones, and you know, I love that stuff because it really brings flavor to the cleric. And I agree with you, Carlos. It makes a lot of sense to think that your turning ability would be based upon your deity. So
yeah, it's got to be. For example, I mean, not all neutral deities are created equal. I mean, for example, let's say I'm going to fall back to the world of Greyhawk for a second. Okay, we'll take the Daeurn from Daeurn's Instant Fortress, and we'll take, I don't know, Obadhai the Shalm, okay, who's a nature god. All right. At first, you wouldn't think they would influence them until you think about the fact that Daeurn was sponsored to godhood by Heronius, who is a good god. I mean, he's a god of righteousness and law. Of course, he's going to destroy undead. Okay, but the Shalm, who is more of a natural god, well, first of all, he probably wouldn't have clerics to begin with. He'd have druids. So that's, you know, the god should inform the ability.
So, and just real quick, I think both of those things is, instead of just saying there was a mistake or it wasn't thought of, they kind of did a bolt on. It, you know, almost feels like a bad patch. So just like what Carlos was saying, the answer by Jim, because I don't think, you know, just in case for folks on the podcast, the question was, how much experience of the various girdles is giant strength worth? I seriously doubt 200 when gauntlets of ogre power 1,000. He basically says girdles are only 200 for several reasons. First, they do not add the strength. While they do add the strength of the individual, they do little to the intelligence or cautiousness of that being. Secondly, while the strength of the giant is given, the giant's innate toughness is not conferred upon the wearer. And the important part is, he's saying, is this means that while a giant could smash a fist through a wooden door, a human would break bones of doing this. So again, I don't know if you really go with this, how does that, if you use a sword, why is that any difference? Wouldn't you break your hand if you were using giant strength? That doesn't make any sense. And he says also, you'd rip your hands apart if you would try to bend bars. So to your point, Carlos, it just looks like the simpler answer would have been, yeah, we probably should have made these 1,200 points. And then with the same thing with the clerics. If you read Player's Handbook, it doesn't say it, but it's implied that neutral clerics are druids. There are no neutral clerics, and they didn't really think about chaotic neutral, lawful neutral. There was not going to be that, and then it came up, and they're like, oh well, now we need to figure it out, and then it took second edition to fix it. That's kind of that's my take on it.
And I think when we had Jim on the show,
I like it.
And I think, right, didn't Jim say when we had Jim on the show? I think it was our show. It may have been Carlos's, but on one of them where we asked, we asked this question, and I think his wasn't his response. I don't remember anyone playing a neutral cleric in Gary's game. They were always good. I thought he may have said that, which I thought was quite telling, right? That this kind of the idea.
I remember him saying that, whether it was on my show or yours, I can't recall.
Yeah, but that's kind of interesting, isn't it? So Gary's idea of a cleric was basically probably that you're good or evil, right? You're strong one way because obviously you've got the evil high priest, you know. But it's just like you were saying, James. Yeah, the idea of a neutral cleric was really not really thought of, and I guess that's why it wasn't included.
No, but I can tell you where it makes sense, though. I mean, let's go back again. I'll go to the world of Greyhawk. You've got Istis, the goddess of fate. She's not going to have a druid, but she's a neutral god. There's a great example of how it works.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
What about Dionysus? And James, your favorite?
Dionysus. But that's 1980 though. To me, that's Greyhawk Folio comes out in 1980. Some of the deities may have not been fleshed out with alignments and everything else. It was more of yes, there's Bocob and there's this and there's that. And if I remember correctly, Gary said the deities kind of were more of a, oh, I need to build out my world more. Now I need to do all these things versus, it's more Castle Greg. Again, I'm not as versed in it, but it's clear that back in the day, clerics were holy fighter things, and the deity relationship was not as fleshed out, and that came later. and you had less alignments. You had, chaotic, lawful, and neutral. And then they expanded it, the 5-1 in homes. So I think it was an evolution, and the 9 alignment system, they didn't factor everything. That's my guess. And now it took second edition to kind of accept that 9, segment alignment as its true feature. And now it's not a big deal, but back then you're trying to put it's like version 1, again, version 1.5, it gets so much weight of things, you have to clean it up, and that's what every new edition does. The problem is sometimes they keep things that shouldn't, and they get rid of things that they should have kept, and it is what it is. So let's see what the comments are saying. Well, I want to keep going because we're 2 hours in, and I would definitely want to. We've got some things to open, and I want to get killed hard and incomprehensibly. So
yes.
Liam's Tiny Hut, again, Len, we talked about. He does a great article about the inner planes and, discussing encountering. Because, again, there is some, obviously, we had an astral, ethereal encounter this episode, but it really goes over fleshing out the alignment of the traveler versus the monster. It's if you need this detail and how you could see in the inner planes, it's got it there for you. So again, we've lost another great founder and content person of the hobby, which is it's very sad. Okay, so it's a very long article. It's about 6 or 7 pages. I didn't read Giants of the Earth. We talked about that. I'm sure it's interesting. Basically, they're statting historic creatures, which is cool. Moving on. Scrolling, and we're scrolling. What's the last thing I have on my list? Oh, monsters. That's it.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, so most of them I wasn't all jazzed about. I mean, you had these, I can't remember, these kind of rays in the ground, and I liked the well spirit, which, so you're like a wishing well or whatever. So, right, I like the idea of wishing wells. I hadn't thought a lot about them, right? But this idea of wishing wells in D&D, I think you could have a lot of fun with wishing wells of all different varieties. But what I thought was, pretty terrible about this thing is, so you go to a wishing well, and this creature from comes from the plane of water, whatever, comes out and attacks you and drowns you.
Yeah,
that's horrible. Right, so you just okay. I thought it was entertaining though, so I liked that. I like that monster. But it got me thinking about
and the number of wishes it has versus its level and attacks it's pretty scary stuff.
Oh yeah, right. I think you can appease it, right? So if you give it enough stuff or whatever. But if you you're like, ha ha, watch this. I'll throw a copper piece in there. So this thing comes out and drowns you. Okay.
Be careful what you wish for. That's still like. Well, right. The one I thought was interesting. That's right.
Cheapskate.
That's right. Let that be a lesson to you.
Necroton, and the reason it was interesting is because.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I just I'm not a fan of, and I wanted to get Carlos's take since he was on here. This kind of steampunk wizard as mad scientist. What it says here is this greedy wizard is said to have designed the first Necroton. There can be no doubt of the case. Do you, in your campaigns, particularly in Greyhawk, do you gravitate having wizards as alchemists makes perfect sense. Wizards as scientists, but do you go into the steampunk kind of contraptions and that kind of thing?
I am one of the people that I very much dislike things like Expedition to the Barrier Peaks. I never liked that module much at all. It's got some really cool monsters in there, and it's got some cool encounters, but I didn't like the chocolate in my peanut butter, so to speak. I thought it wasn't handled correctly. But that being said, I am currently running a campaign for some patrons in which I am doing just that. I'm introducing a steampunk element because they have found one of the old laboratories of Lum the Mad, who is a Greyhawk character. I think you can handle it properly without going too sciencey in it. And I think the best way is to keep the element of mystery in here where the player characters are looking at these things saying, I have no idea what I'm looking at right now. I have absolutely no idea what this is.
Did Lum the Mad create the owlbear?
No, Lum the Mad did not create the owlbear. The owlbear is attributed to, what is his name? Oh, It's killing me right now. Thalasus, excuse me.
Oh,
From
okay.
yeah, he's a lich that appears in the what is it? Age of Worms adventure path.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay, I did not know he made an appearance. So let me ask you.
Paizo statted him out later on. He's the major creator of the Thalassa Hydra as well.
God, what would you guys think of? Are any of you Call of Cthulhu
I played
fans?
Again, I wasn't, and then I just wrote a module that's very Cthulhu-esque, so I guess I can't answer that appropriately.
I was wondering what it would be kind of cool to have like a Cthulhu AD&D hybrid where like, you time travel. So like, the dwarf is like, basically, like kind of the heavy set dude with the big red beard in Cthulhu and with the bowler. And then he goes and he's, he's Gimli or whatever. And you're chasing like this evil, dude, he's like Jack the Ripper in Cthulhu, and then he's like, I don't know, the evil wizard in your chase. I don't know. So I wouldn't mind that as opposed to, I agree with Carlos. I wouldn't mind doing the jumping back and forth. I think it could be kind of entertaining, at least for one kind of mini campaign. I'm with Carlos on this stuff though. When I read metal in that, I was like, I'm out. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm generally the same way. The only reason I touched on it is because it is so heavy and obvious influence in the world of Greyhawk. I had to reflect it in my campaign at some level, and I chose to do it in a certain way.
Well, and as we know, right, because I was sort of, kindly corrected by who was Ed Greenwood. I asked Ed about his article on guns. I think didn't Ed do guns in D&D?
I think that's right.
Right, and he had said that look, when D&D started, stuff like that was not all that crazy, right? I mean, you kind of had some sort of sci-fi sort of themes floating in and out. It was a little bit, wackier. I think a little more gonzo-ish. I don't know if I'm the right word. Than maybe we were the kids of the 80s.
Right.
Were used to. So I thought that was kind of interesting, right?
Don't forget, there was a portion of time when Ernie Gygax was running around on Mars with dual-wielding Vorpal swords. So it got gonzo.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny, isn't it? It started more gonzo.
It got crazy.
And then it went less so when we started, because I think we were all product of the 80s, and that was sort of gone, right? You just didn't see that very much. Expedition to the Barrier Peaks was kind of like startling, right, that they have it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in the 600 pages, there's, a page and a half about Boot Hill and that. And, Call of Cthulhu now, besides being in the deities and demigods, the first thing, Call of Cthulhu, it's not just now 1920s Lovecraftian, it's in World War II, it's in the future, it's in Aztec times, because the elder gods, they predate everything. So then they've created Cthulhu modules all over the place. So
yeah, like Asmodeus is like some dude, and he's your favorite politician. You pick whoever you want him to be, right? But so like in the present is like some.
So speaking of that,
dude.
someone wanted to know what position you will take in the VAPRAC administration. I put Attorney General, but I'm not sure if that's the position you're going to take.
I think that seems appropriate. I'm hoping to maybe be appointed to the Supreme Court.
Oh, that's even better. That's a great idea.
All right, I'm hoping for that nomination. If that doesn't happen, Attorney General would be great in the VAPAC administration. Absolutely. So thank you. Yeah, that's I did. Because if there's one election in which you want to just throw away your vote as a joke, it clearly is this one. We all agree. So I just wrote in VAPRAC.
Well, I filled out my wife's and Nico's as well. So we got 4 votes for VAPRAC. So
okay, all right. Well, that's a felony.
Oh, really?
But that's okay. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
some guy had.
That's right.
Yeah, some guy had a bunch of ballots. I just bought them and just I guess that's a problem. Okay, well, fine.
Yeah. VAPRAC has a problem though. He's not a citizen. I only later did I realize this is what a stupid. I felt so stupid afterwards.
You shut your filthy mouth.
That's right. He makes the age requirement, but he's not. He wasn't natural. He's not born here, so it's a little problem. Oh well, he could run for governor of Florida next time.
How do you know? We don't know he wasn't born here.
Does he have papers to do that? Then if you don't have the.
That's right. Where's his birth certificate? Oh, I see. You're going birth removement
I'm going birth removement on VAPRAC. Exactly. You're welcome. So
Maybe he's got like a permanent resident card or something.
That's right.
He's the immigrants
visa?
we want. That's right. He's the best.
He'll just step right over. He'll eat that wall. He's coming through. Screw your wall. I'm coming.
So the last two things I have is Roger Moore wrote a story, Day of the Dwarf. It's kind of like how D&D playing with people, and I didn't read the whole thing, to be perfectly honest, because I don't read stories.
Yeah,
and the last thing was the adventure that is in the Mansion of Mad Professor Ludlow. So written by, of course, Jim Ward. It's interesting. I didn't read the whole thing because just in case for a spoiler, but if you wanted to run a Halloween themed thing, it's available. So there we go. Let me shrink that down. Turn this off. All right, so that was issue 42 of Dragon. Overall, pretty good. You know, if you
good one. I give that 4 out of 5 stars.
Pro devil, pro Satanism. You know, if you're this would, and you know, I'd never had this one. I think I started getting dragons in the 60s when I was, because I'm still a little young for this, but I'm sure someone pulled this one out and said, here it is. So next thing we have is we have Carlos on, which again, he was gracious beyond the whole time. And so I want to now open the box. What's in the box?
Oh man, this is so exciting.
I can't see it. I'm so disappointed.
Well, it's
someone cast blindness on me. All right, it's okay.
Man, the friggin' post office didn't do that.
No, they didn't. So it's super cool.
Did somebody give me a play-by-play?
I'm opening the box.
Got it. Remember, we have podcast.
Our tape on our box has our logo and Castle Entertainment written across the tape.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You're a professional. We need to hire this guy.
No, we need to hire Amanda. It's
you need to hire Amanda. She's
the face.
The one.
Where's Bella?
He's the face.
What's your cat's name? Bella?
Bella, yep.
Where has she made an appearance?
No, Bella has not made an appearance. Bella's in the front room right now, laying on the couch. She's antisocial.
Carlos, did you know? I believe it's one date this month. I can't remember what date it was. It was National Black Cat Day.
I know.
Isn't that cool? Because we both have, as you know, I've got Grizzly, and neither of our black cats on Halloween, neither of our familiars have made an appearance, which is very disappointing. Oh, maybe they're hiding.
The reason you can't see is because your thing's not working. Because I'm like, well, I can see it, so can Carlos. So you can't see my screen. I'm showing the modules, and I'm realizing it's not. It's because your technical difficulties. So first, we have a lovely note from Carlos. Thank you for your support. I cherish your friendship, and the feeling is mutual. Thank you so much, Carlos. So. So there is a number of very thick, very wonderful adventures. So the first one is A7, Marquesa, Thy Name is Evil. So Carlos, why don't you kind of give us your take on them and what the...
Yeah, sure. Actually, why don't you go back in your collection 2 modules, because I think you have the entire Marquesa collection, if I remember correctly. You should have A5 and A6 as well.
Let me see. You have... Well, I have... here, I mean, it's a pretty thick module. I have A7, C11, C12, 13, 14, and 15 here.
Wow, man, Amanda really hooked you up. Okay, cool. Well, let me tell you what you've got right over there, okay? The first thing you've got right over there, Marquesa, Thy Name is Evil. Marquesa is a great villain from the world of Greyhawk. She made her debut in A2, Secret of the Slaver's Stockade. After the Slave Lords have been smashed, the heroes of Greyhawk are now going after some of the sub-lieutenants of the Slave Lords. Marquesa is sort of like the Dr. Mengele of Greyhawk. There are very few characters that are more truly evil in Greyhawk than she is. And she was the focus of my first trilogy of adventures. And that is the conclusion of it. It was probably the best of them, in my opinion. It used, by that point, I'd written 4 or 5 different modules. So I was getting the hang of it. And it was probably the best thing I was able to, I'd written at that point in time.
Just for people, they can't see. This is not like A2 is a pretty lengthy module. It's one of the thicker ones. This is bigger than that. It's bound. How many pages is this one? Because I don't want to open it. It's in a sealed thing.
I want to say it's 80 some pages. Yeah, I think that one is about an 80-page module. I'm usually about 100 right now in everything I do, but that one in particular I think it's 80. I
And
am looking. Let me look at a copy of it right now. It is yeah, it's about 70. I take that back. It's about 70.
can I mention something about the length of Carlos's modules, which I really like? Because
Sure.
usually, Carlos, it seems to me, because I like short adventures, but what I like about your modules is that a lot of the heft is the adventures are fairly short oftentimes, right? Oftentimes like around 20
Yeah.
rooms or so. So you can run it as in a day, perhaps, right? Because you run in these at conventions.
Yep.
So don't be scared off by the length if you're looking for
No.
an adventure to run on just a one session. Most of that heft often comes from the fact that you give pre-gens, which are wonderful with
Okay.
background. You give new monsters, you give new right. So a lot of that heft comes from a lot of extra goodies.
Right.
But the adventures oftentimes can be easily run in a session. Is that fair to say?
I think it's very fair to say. I think what some people don't understand is one of the things I'm trying to do is, in lieu of official support for the World of Greyhawk by Wizards of the Coast, I've kind of elected myself to continue on to carry the torch for the setting. So these are source books for the setting as well as adventures. There's a lot of background that you're going to get in there about things that you can very easily strip away and run it in just as a one-shot solo game or a one-shot game that you can finish up in about 3 to 4 hours.
Right. Exactly. So
Now, that's not necessarily the same thing with some of these modules. Some of them get really deep, like the one that James is
So the
holding
next
right
one
now.
that was sent to us is C11, When Comes the Witching Hour?
This module was really near and dear to my heart because for me, When Comes the Witching Hour is it's all about Igwaliv, who is one of the main big bad guys from the World of Greyhawk. She's one of my favorites. That's an 82-page module, but that's all in 8-point font too. So that thing is probably got just as much, if not more. I don't do 8-point anymore. I was getting feedback from some of our readers that they would prefer something a little bit bigger of a font. So
we're getting older, Carlos. You got to understand that.
Yeah, and it was a totally valid criticism, and it was one I took to heart because it was absolutely true. So I now use 10-point font, but that module is absolutely jam packed with cool stuff. Can you get the modules? Of course you can get the modules. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll just real quick, Casl Entertainment. Why don't you tell them how to get it?
Yeah, you can either get it through Casl Entertainment, which is www.caslentertainment.com, or you can get it through you can get them in advance of their official release by being members of the Patreon at a certain level, which is at patreon.com/Casl.
And you have PDF versions and hard copy. Do you ship internationally is the other question.
Yes, I do. I have PDF. I have hardcover. I ship internationally. Physical copy, not hardback. And we have all kinds of good stuff. The Patreon, you get character sheets. You get a mini module every month that's usually about 20 pages long. You get a unique spell, magic item, and monster of the month. I do all kinds of cool stuff for you. For example, David, I do ship international. You'll get, for example, this month in November is all Oriental Adventures focused.
Ooh, that's
so you're gonna see me do all kinds of cool stuff with that. Dan, you can give a review of it next month if you want to, because you'll get a chance to see it. But When Comes the Witching Hour is it was one of my favorites to do. Igwaliv is the daughter of Baba Yaga in the setting, or at least it's been heavily implied. And I am a huge enthusiast of Baba Yaga, so it really like to. That module has all kinds of demons and devils in it. It's my nod to my favorite module of all time, which is S4, Lost Caverns of Sokanth. I believe there's 24 unique monsters, magic items, and there's even 3 artifacts in there that I do. So that one's got a lot of good stuff in it.
Love this artwork. The next one is C12, which is the Forgotten Library of Ranette. Is that how you say it?
That module, in my opinion, does not get the love it should, because that was one of my favorite modules to write. Ranette is an apocryphal god from the world of Greyhawk that was supposedly killed by Pyremeus to get her portfolio. And the character the cover of the module reflects one of her great servitors who's been locked in this Forgotten Temple for a long time, who is a pyroclastic sphinx.
And what's interesting, these,
So, yeah.
while C11 is for 9 to 12, this is a mid-level, 5 to 7. So it's, you've got different ranges, so it's not all high level. You have a wide range.
Yeah, in fact, our newest module is introductory to first level. So you're going to see, you see all kinds of levels reflected from us.
The next one is C13, From His Cold Dead Hands. Love that.
It's my Norse adventure. C13 from His Cold Dead Hands takes place in the barbarian north of the world of Greyhawk, but it could be easily used in any generic Viking-esque setting. As you can tell from the cover, there is a white dragon involved in it. There is an ancient king that was wicked, that was slain and interred in a great iceberg to the north of the barbarian lands, and he has risen from the dead and is plaguing the lands. It's up to you to travel to this iceberg and travel through his necropolis and find a way to put an end to his threat.
That sounds great.
Nasty.
And 5 to 7, that's good.
I like that one.
It was a big hit at GameholeCon where I ran it. I actually ran that for a table of like 8 to 9 people, as I recall. Danny Villanueva, whose birthday it is today, was one of those players. So, happy birthday, Danny. We love you, buddy.
C14, The Sanguine Labyrinth.
That is probably the best reviewed of all my modules. The players seem to love that one. It takes place in the Dungeon of Bleeding Walls, which gets a 3-line citation in the I Use the Evil supplement in the World of Greyhawk. That one is the walls. At the beginning of time, the elves, the first elves after the Great War with Lolth, interred 3 of their greatest enemies at the bottom of this dungeon. And so wicked were these individuals that the walls started to bleed with this caustic, toxic
I mean, look at that picture. It's so evocative. They're like the elf or the fighter is kind of look amazement. The dwarf is very aware. Everyone is not happy. This is not a happy adventuring party.
Yeah, that one is my the artist on that one is my good buddy Daniel Govar, who does just some beautiful covers for us. But that one right over there, everything in that module wants to kill you, and it was the first stage of our first mega dungeon. The next one is going to be it's on slate for the third project that I'm going to be working on from now.
And this one we don't even have to talk about. It's probably it's a throwaway work, something that I'm not too particularly. I mean, do I have to talk about it?
I know what it is.
This one.
Squaring the Circle. It's the conclusion of my Gnome trilogy.
Yes.
I have a 3 module Gnome trilogy. That one, they're all gnomish monks of Merlin. It is my nod to the 7th Samurai and the Magnificent Seven. It takes place in the middle of the world of Greyhawk, which is the county of Ulick. It was actually kind of the genesis of that module was really weird because I remember when I first ran my first module, which is at GaryCon, I had a table of 12 people, including Luke Gygax, and I was running the first of the Marquesa modules. No pressure, I know. One of my players, though, loved it so much that first thing he goes, "You have to run a pickup game tonight." And I said, "Sure, sounds great." So I ran upstairs and I started putting together this pickup game. I just threw it together in about an hour, and it was really, really popular. But one of the players in it played a gnome, and they were having so much fun that all the other characters were like, "Can I change my race to being a gnome right now?" So the next thing I knew, I'd never had a gnome PC in 40 years of gaming. So it was the weirdest thing that they all wanted to be gnomes, but they all really enjoyed it. And then that player said the fateful words, "You need to make an all-gnome game, Carlos, for next year." Well, okay, here we go. And so that was how the trilogy started. It was all of J.C. Luxton's fault, my good friend.
Oh, that was JC is the one who played the gnome. That first
JC is
time?
the one who created all that. He's a great
Wow.
gamer, great enthusiast of the world of Greyhawk, and he likes dying in games almost as much as you do, Dan.
Well, forget about all that stuff. I mean, it's the gnome. He had me at gnome. I have newfound respect. Not that I didn't before for JC.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. The first 3 modules are all about these 7 gnomes.
We need to find out if JC's available as a to be a special guest. He should probably be on every episode, actually. Don't you think, James?
JC, is an OG. And he's really.
What? Huh? What? I'm sorry. I've
JC's an OG.
fell asleep
he knows
here.
a ton about the game. He'd be a
What's
great.
OG? What's that mean?
Yeah.
What's
Is he the
OG?
original gamer, original gangster,
gangster.
gamer, gnome?
Yep.
Original gnome. Original gnome. All right. So, and I've been through, and I think I play tested that. Was the one that I was.
You were one of the playtesters for that.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun. It was a great adventure. A lot of fun.
Man.
So I highly recommend.
So
that
not
one.
only
So-
did you send these, and we will be giving these away. So again, thanks to Castle Entertainment for this.
Our pleasure. You guys have such a great show. We've been friends for a long time. Support you guys any way I can.
Go ahead, Dan.
This is what he says before he
Well, we
incomprehensibly
also,
kills us.
Carlos is such a benevolent force. He has also been, he has offered to give away prizes today too, since he's on.
I have,
So
yeah.
what?
Yeah, for those of you guys who are watching in the spirit of Halloween, Dane and James's discretion, we're going to give away 1 digital copy of When Comes the Witching Hour, or how it's in the spirit of Halloween, and we're going to be giving away 1 physical copy of it. When Dan and James decide they want to, who the winner is, they're going to let me know, and Castle Entertainment will ship it directly
Excellent.
to you.
Yeah, so let's do that. Let's. So here's what we're going to do, because we have some people who are live, and we have some patrons. I want to give everyone a chance to win this. So if you want to win this, and you're chatting right now, put something in the chat saying "I want to win" in the next 15 seconds, and what we'll.
I got to type. Hold on for a
ahead.
second.
Is that I want to win? You want to win your own thing.
Oh, wait.
All right, so we got 1 yay. If you want to win, just say yay or I want to win, and then we'll have Carlos. Do a random draw, and what I'm going to do is I have my bag here, and I'm going to add. If you get a certain color, you'll be okay. So we got 2. If you want to be part of that, and so what I'll do is I will add 2 more. I'll add some chits into this, and you can have a chance to win, because that's what we're about here. Winning is fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I want to support the stream in any way I can. You guys are great gamers, great friends, and Castle Entertainment's just proud to be a part of it.
Well, we're going to try, Randall. Maybe you'll win this time. That's how it is. All right, so we got a few more people, so I'll add a few more chits in here. Into the giant Crown Royal bag of fun. The official shake. You can hear it live.
That is a big Crown Royal.
I don't know
bag.
where I got. I don't know. That may say about my propensity to drink Crown Royal. That's probably not a good sign, but okay. It is.
It was the jug.
It's the. That's right. The massive jug size. Okay. So tell me stop when you want me to pill one out.
All
right.
Stop.
All right, it's a red token. Let's see what that means. I'm going to probably need you to. All right, roll a D8.
Okay. I'm using one of my D8s from Cozy Gamer, one of the glass ones, and that would be a 7. Lucky
7.
number 7.
So, you know what? Congratulations to Randall. You won. You actually won. He did win. He is the winner. Randall, you are the winner of the the physical copy. Congratulations. Just send me at info@grogcon.com your address, and we will send it to you. We'll work with Carlos to get that to you. So congratulations. Yes. They had a 1. Now, so the way this works is each patron level is is color. There were only 8 red chips in here, and he got one of them because so congratulations.
Fantastic.
Wow, you put a lot of effort. You put a lot of effort into that, James. That whole
Yes.
chip.
Yeah, because the red
business.
ones there's single ones for our entry-level patrons, and like our, obviously our higher levels, they get more chips in here. So there were 5. We had 3 people select. He was the second winner.
It's like the NBA
So Randall,
draft.
yes, it's
It is.
Lottery.
Except with less of a
That's
fixed
right. So
fee.
Randall, you are get the hard copy. So send us info@grogcon.com. So you got that. Next. So now this will be for the digital copy. So again, I'm now shaking it up. Just tell me when, Carlos, to stop.
This is so exciting. Why don't you
Okay.
stop?
We have a green this time. So green. All right, you will roll a D3 or D6 and divide it by 2.
Okay, D6 divided by 2. 4 becomes 2.
Okay, well, William Crook, you are the winner of a digital copy of Carlos's adventure. So
Awesome.
thank you so much, Carlos. William Crook, I will get you his information, his email.
Yeah, sure.
That's a great name.
Yeah,
Like
he
Sir
played
William
in
Crook.
our last event,
Oh, that was what. Yeah.
Hook by Crook. That's that. So that's like Baltimore winning a basketball. Yeah, a baseball game. True. So congratulations, Randall. Congratulations to Bill Crook. And if anything, if you haven't had the chance or opportunity to play with Carlos, it truly is a pleasure. I know Dan, when I first met him, he was effusive in his praise of Carlos's style, and I've played with him a couple of times now, and it is everything and more. It's easy to say. Anyone who's played with him will steal from him directly. It's a blatant steal.
Yeah. I imported it. I brought it. I don't know. Probably without attribution, right? I came back a changed man.
That's totally fine, man. You and guys you know how I am. I love the game, and know that I influence great gamers like you guys is humbling. It.
My problem is I don't know human anatomy like you do. So, because what happened is my players kept complaining that, the same sort of descriptions of combat. Your arm is gashed.
Well,
your
what part of
is
the arm?
gashed.
The arm. Well, how much more do you want?
You need to give Carlos. You need to do like a little YouTube segment on explaining.
I guess, right?
All right. So now it is time. It is time for it's becoming an annual event, which
it's a Halloween tradition.
Incomprehensible Death, which Carlos really embraced when we brought this up last year. Actually, I think the genesis of it was he ran us through something else, and it was a quick adventure, and my character did something completely ridiculous. I think it was a brown mold, if I remember correctly, and
it was a brown mold, yes.
And I think there was a squirrel, wasn't there? A fox, ice
something
fox,
like that, yeah.
Yeah, horfoxes.
Horfox, right?
And
right.
So the trap was to sucker you guys into using a fire spell.
Yeah. So we, of course, fell for the trap, and Advanced D&D First Edition. And we've talked about this with Cursed Scrolls. That was the other thing, that you could die and not even know that you died, because you could read a Cursed Scroll. You don't have to. Our take on it was, if you read a scroll, it didn't matter if you understood it. As soon as you opened and started trying to discern it, this curse went off, and that we coined that Incomprehensible Death. And Carlos, of course, ran with it. And now this is, it's his segment, and we're just here for the ride. So he again has graced us with his presence to write another one. Go ahead, Dan. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just say, can we talk? Can we explain to the listeners a little bit about our characters?
I'm gonna get this set up, because now I can share the map at this point, Carlos, to everyone.
Yes, you can, and of course, and after you do that, Dan, I will explain to you guys a little bit about your characters that you don't know.
Wow, excellent. So as you know, I take pride in drafting up my pre-gens, and so I always try. It's a Halloween tradition. I try to make my character and James' characters roughly equal, and I've done my best to do that. I am a luminous gold beam, guardian of the light. I am a human female, 40-year-old paladin, level 6, alignment, lawful good. Patron deity is Foltus. I've got an 1850 strength, 16 intelligence, 18 wisdom, 15 dex, 18 con, 18 charisma. I'm AC -1. I have 57 hit points. I have a longsword +2 named Lex, who is intelligent and lawful good, detects chaotic creatures in a 10-foot radius, golden glow when unsheathed. I have a short bow, a dagger +1 named Moonstruck. A silver glow, I've got plate mail +1, gold plated. I have a shield +1 with golden suns and silver moons against a bright blue background. My warhorse is a mare with stunning palomino coat named Sunshine. I have a dozen.
That was a nice touch, by the way.
Thank you, sir. I thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad someone noticed. Thank you, Carlos, for noticing.
I didn't read the character.
You don't. I have 12 +1 arrows, 2 potions of healing. I am keen-eared, so I hear noises 4 and 20. I, of course, have all the paladin abilities. My background is the following. There are none braver, fairer, or more valiant than Luminous Goldbeam, guardian of the light. Her devotion to Foltus and the cause of law and order is unrivaled and unwavering. At the young age of 16, she took a half-orc baby that was left on her doorstep and raised the poor boy as her own. She taught him the ways of Foltus, though she could not convince him to follow the path of good, as his orcish nature was too strong. Unable to adventure with him because of his objectionable alignment and crass demeanor, she has finally decided to take him on one adventure, as permitted by Player's Handbook, hoping to finally convince him to follow not only the path of law and order, but the path of good. There it is. That's me. That's the character I'll be playing. James?
I'm Limpy.
Limpy. Limpy Goldbeam. Okay, what can you tell us about yourself, Limpy Goldbeam?
Well, I limp. And you're my mom.
Well, that's that.
No, you're my mom.
Yes.
Your mom. No. No. Your mom.
I did not have sexual relations with that orc.
Your mom. And I like Foltus. Yeah.
There'll be no
I like Foltus. I am I'm a cleric. Yep, that's me, cleric. I'm very good at saying things about Foltus, and I limp. I got a limp, but I got a club, and I got a steed, geezer, and did I mention you're my mom? Yeah, it's good.
There it is. All right. Yep. So I took
yeah,
Limpy.
That's me.
So. All right.
Yes, as well you should have.
Yes.
All right, well, let me make this relatively quick for you. Something that you guys don't really know about yourselves yet. By the way, of all of Earth's many faiths, it's probably Foltus's that is the most rigid and inflexible, for those of you who don't know too much about the world of Greyhawk. Unyielding in their devotion to their god and their principles, his priests and paladins are well known throughout the Flanass as dogmatic and uncompromising, and in many cases, frighteningly so. The Fulton faith is most prevalent in a country called the Theocracy of the Pale. It's a nation in the heart of the Flanass which is ruled by the Church of the Blinding Light. Within the borders of this land, weal and devotion thrive and flower in large part because of the existence of the Templars of the Church Militant. Their job is to uproot wickedness and heresy wherever suspicion of its existence might lie. During the Palite invasion of the eastern reaches of the Duchy of Ten in 588 Common Year, the Templars were at the forefront of the conflict, smiting the non-believers among the Tenha with brutal kind of pitiless an efficiency reserved solely for the Zealot. Thousands upon thousands of their enemies were put to the sword during this offensive or scattered from their ancestral lands, fated to live truly woeful existences as refugees, wherever they might find some bit of rare sympathy. At the conclusion of their campaign against the duchy, the Throne of the Sun bade the Templars of the Church Militant to spread out within the lands that they had seized in search of whatever blasphemers or non-believers might yet remain. This new mission was marked by the organization of the Witchfinders, a group within the Templars whose role it was to find those given sorcerous abilities by fell patrons and punish them accordingly. Thousands more Tenhas would die at the hands of the Witchfinders, most innocent folk of the old faith or simple hedge mages that had historically tended to nearby hamlets and villages. On one specific mission, a group of Witchfinders was called the village of St. Alwyn, which has been since renamed Cyril's Way after Palite occupation. There, a group of Fulton faithful, led by the powerful Templar Marshal, his radiant sword, Sir Andre Antonorix, met a young girl named Abigail Fay, who had been accused of the crimes of heresy and witchcraft by her fellow villagers. The group of Templars accompanying him publicly tortured and brutalized young Abigail in ways best left to the imagination over the course of a full fortnight, until Templar Marshal Antonorix at last extracted a confession from her lips. She was sentenced to death by burning at the stake and screamed her innocence into the night until the licking flames of her pyre at last quieted her pleas. Perhaps horrifying to other folk of the Flyness, this particular case was not considered especially remarkable. Yet what has come in the decades since Abigail Fay's execution is quite the opposite. 2 years ago, Templar Marshal Antonorix was found in his manor in the Palite capital city of Wintershiven, strangled to death in his bed, his majestic holy sword, glorious, shattered. Although the death was considered a tragedy, a man such as a Templar Marshal makes many enemies during the course of his lifetime, and so, when its investigation revealed no obvious murderer, few raised eyebrows in its wake. This attitude did not change when standard-bearer Lucien Madel and Turcopole Avli and Lemehu were murdered a year afterward, or when elderly brothers Jolin Vanette and Pelena Ferrex were killed in the 2 years afterward either. However, the slaying of Under Marshal Gaspard Huer sparked an investigation into the killings, which revealed a sinister thread between them. Each of the men and women killed were those present in the village of Cyril's Way, and took part in the inquisition and punishment of Abigail Fay. Now only 2 of the Witchfinders that comprise that group remain. Called to the city of Wintershiven, they have been charged by no less than the Witchfinder General, Sir Mandrel Savard of Seven Rivers Ford, to get to the bottom of the affair and punish the one responsible for the killings. And in doing so, they may well save their own lives. You 2 were juniors, very, very new amongst the Witchfinders when this took place. You 2 watched Abigail LaFay's horrific murder, the way that the Templar Marshal extracted his confession from her with fire and pliers and other implements of woe. It was horrific to say the least, but yet there's very little that the faithful of Foltus will not do in the name of their God. So it is that you've been brought to a great necropolis, which is called the Dappled Ossuary. The Dappled Ossuary is a very large necropolis in the middle of Wintershiven. It's got its strange name for the fact that it's made completely of bone white marble with great holes that have been drilled all throughout the exterior of it. What this does is it allows sunlight or moonlight to filter in through the outside of the edifice and seem like, as you walk through this place, that beams of sunlight, like you're walking through a forest and seeing the canopy break the sun's rays into pillars and columns of radiance. It was designed in that way by its creators, not only so that those buried within would constantly be basked in Foltus's light, but they would also repel undead who are usually find the sun to be painful. The other day, the reason why you have been called to Wintershiven and called to the Dappled Ossuary is because The two men that usually guard the burial place were found by the shift succeeding them with their necks broken. Behind them, the great metal doors of the mausoleum were torn from their hinges and tossed aside like children's toys. Clearly, whatever party is responsible for this affair is not happy to stop at murder. It now wishes to desecrate the graves of the good and holy men, such as those at rest within the edifice. You have been called to this place to investigate this in the name of the Inquisitors, the Witchfinders, but mostly because your superior feels that this must have something to do with the murder or the Inquisition that saw Abigail Fay put to the stake. So it is that the two of you, as you can see on the map in front of you, are just within the Dappled Ossuary. It's a 40 by 20 area, very large area with 3 pillars, stone pillars, right up the middle of the area. You're side by side. You've walked through the doors leading into the place. Sunshine and Geezer are tied outside. They look very nervous, the two of them. They don't seem like they want to stay in at their tethers. They kind of prance around a bit and whinny, almost as if warning you, begging you not to enter this edifice. Yet, armed with your faith, armed with the knowledge that Foltus is always with you, you have entered nonetheless. At this point in time, I'd like one of the two of you to identify yourself as the caller of your group, and please tell me what your marching order will be into the Dappled Ossuary.
Well, obviously, Luminous will be the caller.
Okay. Very well, then.
Limpy.
Nah.
Do you
Please,
agree?
Luminous, then. Tell me what your marching order will be and what your actions will be.
Limpy will be behind me. I will be protecting Limpy. So I am going to direct Limpy to stand behind me at all times, unless I otherwise direct Limpy to do something
mother.
different. Thank you, Limpy.
Ma.
Shh, Limpy. Shh. Shh. And first, Carlos, I'd like to first state an objection.
Yes.
If I can. Yes, I'd like to object to the reference to Abigail Fay having been murdered. My understanding is it was according to the law, and so I would just like to note my objection to that reference to that justified killing. Can I have the record? Thank you.
That's why I countered my words and I mentioned it as an inquisition and execution.
Thank you, because I want to make sure you weren't prejudiced.
Absolutely, yes. That was mischaracterizing it, certainly in the eyes of the Fulton faith.
Thank you.
Entering this place, you can see that the ceiling above you is 10 foot in height.
Okay.
It's silent. It's the scent in the air is dry. It's full of ancient dust that seems like it's churned for your motion. How recently, besides that, it's been moved, it's difficult to tell.
So we don't see any. So if I inspected the ground, would I notice any footprints, any move? I know I'm not a ranger, but is there anything obvious?
You do see a lot of disturbance in the dust around you. You are not a ranger. Tracking is impossible. It seems like it crosses itself many times. So there's clearly been a lot of motion in here. Perhaps it was disturbed mostly by the wake of air created when the doors were sundered to the place.
And what time of day is it daylight? So
it is daylight. It is almost noon. So the light is streaming in from the outside quite well. However, that only means because of the inconsistency of that light, you only have about a 30-foot radius of clear light. The rest is gloom out to the vision of the map.
Okay. Oh, I would say. So that light that we're seeing on the map there is what we can see?
That is correct.
Got it.
I've instituted fog of war for you.
Got it. Thank you. And a quick question. So I've never played a paladin before.
Of course.
The detect evil up to 60-foot distance, does that work automatically, or is it something like I have to?
You need to concentrate on it, and you have to declare that you wish to do it.
I'm telling Limpy, shh,
Mother?
Limpy, quiet. Stop it. I'm going to detect evil. I would like to try to detect evil.
I stand
60
behind
foot
him just in
distance.
case. No.
Okay. You sense you extend your senses about you in a 60-foot radius. You can feel the eddies of the sunlight around you as you do that, just as they strike your senses of good and evil around you. You can feel the light around you, as is the as befits your standing with your god. But you sense no evil within 60 feet of you.
Oh, okay. I turn around to Limpy. I say, Limpy, I detect no evil within 60 feet.
Good. Yes.
Okay. What's Limpy doing? Okay. So.
Well, mother.
So.
Mother, what?
Oh God! Do you have to call me that?
Why are we coming here versus going to Cyril's Way City? And if this is about the witch, why don't we go back to where the witch is?
We were directed to come here. These are our orders, Limpy. We do as we are directed. Do you remember? Follow
I
the
follow rules. It just we're here to find witch. Witch is back there, where we burned her, killed her, murdered her. Yeah, right. She deserved it. So.
No, do you remember when you studied to be a cleric, Limpy? You learned about this. That's sometimes spirits they leave the corporeal body and they go and they do bad things, and you got to find them, and that's what we're doing here. Remember, we talked about this.
Oh, okay, but witch, you're trying to fight witch. She's dead back there at the other town, far away, not here.
That's right. We're just making sure there's nothing here.
Well, there's dead people here. We know that, but there are different dead people.
I know.
Mother,
Okay.
Are the dead people that killed the witch, the life that she seemed nice, but I don't know. You guys killed her, but are they here? The dead people?
I don't think they are been buried here. Have they been buried? I can't remember. Have they been buried here?
Many other in the Dappled Ossuary, it's considered to be quite an honor to be interred within here. It is reserved for the witch finders of either of your or current that have died recently.
Oh.
Not only has the Templar Marshal that led that mission been interred here, but so too have those that had been murdered along with the Templar Marshal.
We're here, Limpy, to protect these good people. These people who followed our religion and the true path and followed the light. And we need to make sure that they're protected. It looks like someone very bad is coming after them, Limpy. So
okay.
So just follow Limpy. You got your club? Do you have backfire?
Yeah, yes,
club?
Mother. I have that. Okay. But they're not here. I mean, the souls they go to Photis. They're not here. The bones are here. Why? But okay,
you remember that's
I think that's how it works.
Smart. You are right. Yeah. Well, that's right.
As you guys are having this discussion right now, in your hand, Lex feels very luminous. Lex feels very ill at ease. You can just tell the way this glow is kind of the stardust is kind of rising off of the blade. It just seems very anxious.
I'm going to speak in lawful good. I'm going to speak to Lex and say, Lex, what are you sensing? Something chaotic nearby?
Okay. You did not mention on your character sheet if Lex was capable of speech.
Oh, he has language. I got languages.
Oh, you do have language.
Yeah, you look at weapons.
I do see it now. I see it now. Okay, good. Lex says, I just don't. I know he's your son, but Limpy is very stupid, and I don't know that I trust him guarding your back.
Oh, well.
This is a very dangerous place.
Okay.
You could be ambushed from all manner of places, and I just don't like this. Not at all. He says this back to you in lawful good.
I gotcha. So maybe, well, I'm clearly not going to have him in front. That would not be right. I need to protect Limpy, but so
Well, are you so certain of that? I mean, the expendable soldiers always precede the more valuable ones.
that doesn't seem very. I understand what you're saying, Lex, but that doesn't seem very. I'm a paladin. That doesn't seem very brave.
You are a paladin, which means you are a general at war. Yes.
I
Therefore,
sheath
intelligence in combat must precede valor at all times. Yes.
I sheath Lexi.
Mm-hmm.
Lexi's been sheathed. So all right, we're going to. I appreciate Lexi's Lex's advice. But listen, I'm sorry, I'm a paladin, and I care about Limpy, and I'd feel terrible if anything happened to Limpy.
Okay.
So I'm going to Limpy, follow me. Let's.
Are you talking? I didn't understand. I thought you were talking that the knife again.
I'm talking
Okay.
to you now, Limpy. So I'm gonna proceed down this. I'm going to proceed forward. Follow me.
Proceed forward, and you proceed forward all the way to the intersection. At what distance, Limpy, do you follow behind Luminous?
I mean, what is he? He is limping.
I'm slow. She's walking pretty quick. I try to stay, because this is scary. I'm gonna try to stay like I'm going. If she moves too fast, so I'm gonna try to stay within 10 feet of her, whatever that is. You know.
Are you going to allow Limpy to catch up, Luminous?
Yeah. Yes, I will. Absolutely. I'm going to keep looking back. Limpy's not going to be out of my sight. This is the only adventure I can have with Limpy per the player's handbook. I'm not going to let Limpy die on my watch. Limpy, you're not dying today.
Luminous,
not today.
As you get to the intersection, okay, there's a corridor that stretches to the east and the west. Along it, you can see doors, metal, heavy iron doors. Script written in that, in most of them, it looks like there's a silver illumination on all of them. Clearly the crypts of the dead.
Got it. Okay.
Will you go to the left, or would you like to go to the right?
Limpy, what do you think? This is an important decision for you. What do you make this for the party, Limpy? Left or right? Do you understand? Okay, left is this way, Limpy, and right is this way.
Yes.
Help? Do you need to remind you? Did you forget?
No, I got it. I think that right is right. So right.
That's very wise of you, Limpy. Limpy. Wimpy.
Wow.
Limpy. That's very wise.
Right is right.
Let's not forget Limpy's chance of spell failure.
I haven't forgotten Limpy's chance of spell failure. Okay. So
Okay,
you begin to head down the right corridor. Okay.
Yes.
Again, the air is still. It's full of ancient dust. It's deadly silent within the room. Within the corridor. You begin, Luminous, to head down the corridor.
I would like to. So, when I pass that first door, Carlos, I remember I am keen-eared, and I know this would be a roll by you, not by me, but I have a 4 in 20 chance because I'm keen-eared. I would like to. I say, I'm gonna have to take. I'm gonna have to take off my helmet and all that stuff. That's gonna take time. And that can be risky. No. Limpy, you're very smart and wise. What do you think? Should I listen at this door?
There are dead people here. What are you listening for, Mother?
Well, to make sure making sure there's nothing disturbing the dead.
Does the door look? Does it looks like it's been open? It looks pretty cool.
Limpy is pounding on the door. You just hear this iron echo. It kind of echoes in the hallways.
I don't hear anything, Mother.
Oh, geez, Limpy.
In the wake of the echo, in the wake of the knocking, you don't hear any motion. You don't hear any sound.
No drums start?
Nope, nothing.
There are dead people here, Mother. Our friends are here. We should be fine.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
Len.
you can see the names of former paladins and priests of yore, some of which you've heard their names in the past.
Okay.
At the end of the hallway, through the gloom, through the gloom, you can see the end of the corridor as it bends to the north.
Oh, okay. Oh, Limpy, what spells did you memorize?
Oh, okay. Well, I have some really good ones.
Any? Did you remember to
No,
memorize spells this morning? Like we talked
I do.
about?
I have some wonderful spells. I have, because this is an undead place,
God.
right? So I have resist cold, because it could get cold. It's cold in a tomb.
Yes, the cold touch
Right,
of undead.
cold
Very
tomb, and I have purify food and drink, because
Very smart.
dead people not good, and then I have speak with animals. I love animals.
Excellent. Because we're going to the zoo after. Well, I'm going to take you to the zoo as a reward after
The
this,
rats
Limpy.
could
Like
be
we
rats
always
here.
do.
Rats.
That's right. Very good. And what about? Is that it?
Yeah, that's all I can do. I
Okay.
said, Photis,
Okay.
Photis, please help me. Photis,
Photis.
help me speak with animals. And then I can do that when I want to.
You know, hey, Limpy, I hope we find an empty chamber here so we can just go ahead and set that up for you. Okay, so I'm gonna proceed down. Limpy, I think that we should basically scope out this place first before we start messing with doors. So follow me,
Okay,
Limpy.
I'm limping.
I presume that you're going to go all the way to the end of the corridor.
That is
Dan?
correct, sir. That is yes, and then yes, when I get to the end of the corridor, I would like to then, unless something attacks me, I would like to pause and try to detect evil.
You pause. You focus your mind on whether the sensations around you, the auras around you, but nothing responds to you. Nothing evil seems to rise to you.
Okay, all right, Limpy, follow me.
Limpy, I would like you to roll me a six-sider, please.
Okay.
Oh, Limpy.
5.
Okay. Please tell me what you're going to do, Luminous.
Oh, you mean just so as Limpy? I mean, I'm always looking back to see if Limpy's tagging.
You
along.
hear me? I mean,
there, yeah.
I've got a club foot.
Gotcha.
Limpy, it does make you feel pretty good that your mom is so concerned about you that she
that's
keeps
my
looking
mom.
back.
That's mom.
Yeah.
That's mom. That's mom.
That's right. So I'm going to proceed down that passageway.
Hold on.
Come on, Limpy. Hold on. Come on, Limpy.
Okay. You start heading down the passageway.
Okay.
I'd also like you to roll me Luminous while you're doing that. Roll me a d6, please.
Okay. A 6.
You're heading down the passageway. It's very quiet. It's very still.
Okay. So
Luminous, as you get closer and closer, you notice that the door on your left, right ahead of you, the writing is not in silver. The script that's on it is not in silver. It is actually in gold.
Okay. Can I read the inscription?
Yes, it is written in the lawful good. It's written in the lawful good language. And what it says is, it is, here lies Lady Lenorith Elanden. You recognize right away that was the previous Witchfinder General, previous to the current one, Witchfinder General Savard. She supposedly served at the elbow of the theocracy for 70 years before her death. So she was very well known, very well respected.
Okay. Are these doors, Carlos? Do I sense I would be able to maybe hear something through them, or they just appear to be
No,
so thick it'd
actually,
be a
they're
waste of
so
time?
thick that you don't get the impression you probably would hear something through
Got
them,
it.
even if you listened hard.
Got it.
The thing is also they look extremely heavy. You might need Limpy's help to open them.
Wow. Okay. Does this door appear to have been disturbed? I know I'm standing there, so I may have messed stuff up below me, but do I see any disturbance of the door below and front?
Actually, yeah, it does look like it's been disturbed.
Okay. And in what manner? The door looks like it's been disturbed? And if so, in what manner?
Yeah, it looks like it's been opened recently. The dust at the foot of it seems like it's been disturbed. It's been moved.
I see. Limpy, look at this. Do you see this? It looks like the door's been
Limpy,
opened.
roll me another 6-sider, please.
4.
Okay. Continue.
Okay. Limpy, I think something has gone in here recently, disturbing the former Witchfinder General.
How long has she been dead?
A good 20 years.
She wouldn't have came out. Okay. Yeah, that's not good.
No, I don't think it's her. It might be, but that would be bad. So I think this is very troubling. Anyone who would disturb, this is a
Heresy.
great affront to Fulton.
Judgment.
Heresy.
Judgment.
Yes. Yes, Limpy. You
open the door?
Well. Yes, okay. I am.
Don't you dare call me Limpy.
Wait, who said? Wait,
I said that. You almost called me Limpy.
Carlos Limpy? No, that was a big mistake. Withdrawn. So no.
Yeah.
Limpy proper. Limpy. I might need your help here. So what is is there a mechanism to open the door? A handle of some kind?
Yeah, there's a door handle right there. One more 6-sider for me, if you would, please, Dan.
Yes. A4.
Ahead of you, hear something that sounds like the jingling of coins across marble, like across the floor. It's echoing gently ahead of you.
Oh, I say, shh, do you hear that, Limpy?
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Your hand's right on the door, about ready to open it. You hear that jingling noise.
Oh, I let go of the door. Does the jingling stop?
Yeah, no, the jingling continues.
Oh, okay. Do you hear that jingling?
Yeah.
Limpy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything's quiet and still in the hallway.
What kind of lights? All right. So what can we? Oh yeah. So it's from. All right. Let's move up very slowly, Limpy. Don't you think?
Oh yes, mother. Yes, mother.
Okay. You begin to head forward, kind of creeping through the darkness. Slows your movement rate down just slightly, but not so much that it actually, in a way, it sort of helps you because it allows Limpy to stay very close to you.
And Carlos, while I'm waiting for Limpy to limp along, I'd like to try to detect evil.
Okay, go ahead. Roll me, or excuse me. You extend your senses out again. The sound of the jingling coming closer. It sounds like it's moving away from you, but slower than you're moving towards it. Okay. It is within the envelope of your senses. You're sure. You do not sense evil from it.
Interesting. But
you're passing more doors. One of the doors you're passing right now belongs to one of the men that was with you on that fateful mission. Saw Abigail Faye murdered. Or, I should say,
past judgment.
This is very... Limpy, I would be tempted to loose an arrow, but I don't know what this is. I would hate to shoot an arrow at a restless spirit, perhaps, or soul of one of these great men. Let's advance, I say. What do you think, Limpy?
Yes, advance. Yes, let's see the
continue forward.
We do.
Continue forward.
But I'm unsheathing Lex. But I'm telling Lex, shh. I'm gonna unsheath Lex.
I hate it when you do that.
come on, Lex. We talked about this. God,
Yes,
it's
we
like
did talk about this, and you said you were just gonna sheed me to shut me up anymore.
Well, last time you gave advice, you remember what happened, okay?
Yeah,
And
I
know
remember
you
what
do.
happened, but that was a total accident. How was I supposed to know the thing was untethered?
It was obvious. Oh my God, Lex. Okay.
Yeah, you got eyes, okay? I don't.
Lex, do you sense chaos within? Well, it was within 10 feet. Oh, geez. All right, I'm gonna unsheath you. You tell me. Shh. But if you sense chaos, you tell me, okay, Lex?
Right.
Got it. All right, I'm gonna unsheath Lex going forward.
I don't sense chaos around me.
Got it. All right, let's go. Come on, Limpy.
You heard that,
right?
You can hear that, don't you?
What?
Ahead, that's that jingling noise.
I do. Do I? I do.
Yeah, it's kind of an echo. It sounds like somebody's coin purse.
Is it? Carlos, does it seem to be moving away from us?
Yeah,
or
it's moving away from you, but slower than you're moving towards it.
Okay, good. So it's getting. Okay, all right, got it. So we've seen like we're getting ground. All right, I'd like to go up that corner and peek around that corner.
Okay,
Come on, Limpy.
mother. I come with you.
Get to the corner. You start to peek around the corner. James, please roll me another six-sided. You get to the corner. This is what you see at the corner. About maybe 10 feet away from you, just around the bend, there's a coin purse. It is dragging across the ground. It is connected to a very short string, which is connected to this kind of glowing greenish shape in midair. The shape seems like it's the shape of a young girl, maybe 15 years old or so. It just kind of looks back at you and it continues to pull it down the hallway like a wagon.
Carlos, is it possible? Do I recognize? Because we were there when Faye.
Yeah, but this does not look. It's too vague. It's too hard to tell what it might be.
Got it.
It doesn't to you look like anything.
Got it. Okay, but Faye was that age, though. It
definitely was that age.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
As you're continuing down the hallway, looking at this thing, I need both of you to roll me a 20-sider, please.
Okay. I rolled a 3.
Okay. You're sitting there watching this, and you're just kind of trying to figure out what it is more than anything. And as you do, as you're kind of watching it more and more, all of a sudden the sound of it, the jingling sound of it, just becomes deeper in volume and bass. It becomes this sound of clink, 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 clink. It's making all these weird echoey noises into the sound of it.
Do we still see it, or is it out of our range?
No, it's within your range to see.
Oh, I'm going. Yeah.
But you're sitting there listening to it, and it's making this, like I said, it's making this weird clinking, strange noise that you can't really identify. It's making this, the sounds it's making are just
otherworldly,
like
basically. Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, it's warbling now.
Limpy, this is an affront to this holy place. I think
when you say that, as soon as you speak, Limpy, you realize exactly. Well, actually, I shouldn't say Limpy realizes it. It's actually you that realize it.
Luminous.
Luminous. You hear yourself speaking, and you say the words to Limpy. It's your mouth. The sounds that are coming out of your mouth are coming out so slow.
Oh no.
And you turn around behind you to look at Limpy, and you see something behind you in the darkness. Something a figure of some kind.
Oh.
Both of you roll me a 6-sider for initiative.
Limpy, you're supposed to have my
I'm
back.
right behind you.
A 1.
I rolled a 1 as well.
Oh, you gotta be kidding. We both rolled
This
a 1.
figure in the darkness is moving so incredibly fast that it's almost blinding in speed towards you. It is a 15-year-old girl with black hair that has been eaten away by moths. Her face was once pale and porcelain, and now it's rotting away with maggots crawling through it. A worm is exiting out of one of her eyes. She opens her mouth to say something to you, and nothing but black coagulated blood pours forth. Limpy, before you can even really say anything to this person or whatever this creature is, you see this yourself, Luminous. The creature has its hands around Limpy's neck and is squeezing the neck. You hear this high-pitched, whining, horrific sound. This cackling noise. It's echoing in your ears. It's this madcap laughter that is it. And she's saying something, but it's going so fast past you, it's impossible to say
It's like
what it is.
TikTok on steroids.
I need both of you to roll me a saving throw right now.
Carlos, can I ask you too, is this sort of all happening in kind of slow motion? Or
It is happening in slow motion, and that's what makes it so horrifying. It's that slow motion car crash that you can't escape. You realize that you're just along for the ride. Right? There's nothing to escape it. What are you going to do? What'd you get?
Let's see. I rolled a 6, and with, I don't know, I have a 9 wisdom, so I don't think I get a bonus. And my dex is 3, so if it's a dex, if it has any dex change.
You are absolutely rooted to the spot, Limpy, as this thing is crushing down on your neck. I need you to take 16 points of damage for it. You hear Limpy's neck, something in it crack. His Adam's apple crush underneath these fingers. They're drawing blood across the half-orc's neck. It's not dead yet.
I'm dead.
Never mind. Limpy dies instantly from a crushed windpipe as the thing tosses Limpy down the hallway away from her, careening, the dead body just crunching down the hallway. So quickly, it just rushes past it. Luminous. You've never felt fear before in your life. You're a paladin. It's an unknown quantity to you. And yet you find yourself rooted to the spot by this thing, this horror that has its hands around your neck in an instant, giggling and cackling. It says, I still feel it. I still feel the flames. As it crushes your neck down, take 15. So impossibly strong. What are you going to do?
Well, if I can do it, I am going to try to take, Lex, and draw Lex, and if I can say it, in the name of Fultus, be gone, you foul creature.
Reach down in the name. You feel your neck choking out. You can't almost get the words out. Everything is in slow motion. You're trying to pull it out. Make me another saving throw, and in the meantime, take 20.
Oh my God, that's 20 plus those 15.
Yep.
So that's 35. So I'm down to 22. Yep. I get +2 on all saves. I rolled a 14, right? So Paladins, I believe, get +2 on all saves.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I get a 16.
You feel yourself not rooted to the spot anymore, but you're going so slow. Make me a 20-sider to hit.
Okay. Oh, come on. 16, and I've got a strength. I'm a +1 to hit.
Yep, that's a hit. Please roll me your D8 for damage.
Yes. So I assume it's not large, it's medium?
It's medium. Mm-hmm.
Okay, come on, Lex. Come on, Lex. This is the pointy one, right? 8-sided. Okay, come on, Lex. An 8 +3 to damage, +2 because it's +2, right? So that's +5.
You hit her square across the top of the chest. You hit her one of the arms. when it hits it, you sink into rotting flesh that just kind of disintegrates around the. It makes a sickening noise as you sever the arm off of her. You cut into her torso deeply. The arm that is holding your neck is still squeezing down. It's writhing in the air, squiggling around, and it's still squeezing down. She laughs. You can't kill me twice. She hisses. Take another 15.
Oh, I'm down to 7, I believe. Okay.
You're falling back on your knee. Lex is screaming something in slow motion to you. Mistress, it's too late. I died.
I'm feeling good.
You're feeling everything going to black as you take 12. You feel your neck. Something pops and you realize it's one of your eyeballs.
Oh.
From the pressure, blood is streaming down your face. Your eye is ruined. You feel your neck crushing underneath her fingers as she squeezes down and pulls you close. She looks at you, and the last words you hear: "I was innocent. I was innocent."
Can I roll to get out a final word? Like, give me a chance to say something.
Make me a 20, please.
Oh, hang on, I was cockeyed. Ooh, a 5.
And the last moment of your life, as your sight is dwindling down to a single point, you realize you can't even get the last word out through your ruined
She finally
neck.
shut up.
As she crushes your neck. The last thing you see as you collapse to the ground and you're looking up with the dappled light coming through the ossuary onto you. She looks up, she smiles, opens up her arms wide. It is over. At last, it is over. As you see light, the last light of your life, she disintegrates into dust into the ossuary. And that, my friends, is your incomprehensible death.
Thank you, Ray.
Hey, thank you, Carlos.
Hey, no problem. The scenario was called The Dappled Ossuary, as I mentioned. Abigail was a creature from the Fiend Folio called a Revenant.
Oh.
But Abigail, because what people don't remember about Revenants is that they can actually still use their spells that they had when they were alive. This is why you couldn't detect her as evil. She wasn't evil. She was neutral.
I see.
Because Revenants are neutral. She couldn't be turned because Revenants can't be turned. And the spell that she cast on you, the first thing she did was she had Unseen Servant pulling a coin purse around the corner. That's all it was doing. It was a distraction so that she could sneak up on you invisibly and cast Slow on you. And when she did, it was all over but the crying.
Well, it was all over but the crying for me because I had 12 hit points and three strengths. But
yeah. At one point of these, Dan, you're going to have to give James a few more hit points. You're going to have to give him a better character.
I disagree.
Yeah, this was a 6-page module. It's got a fully realized background and everything like that. I'm gonna be making it available on my Patreon, and I'm gonna send giving you guys a copy as well. So,
thank you. That was great.
No problem. Yeah, the Revenant is a really nasty character, a real nasty creature. I've loved that monster since I was a kid, and I've always wanted to use one in a game. I finally got a chance to use one.
And again, taking advantage of the that they're not, like you said, they're not evil. So we.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the thing too. When you're playing with expert players, and I consider you guys to be expert level players, you have to disguise a little bit some of the things you do. And one of the things I did was, like you said, I used the fact that I knew they weren't evil because I knew what you guys were going to try and do. You're going into this necropolis. The first thing you're thinking of is undead, and you weren't wrong. It's just the undead type that I used I knew would vex most of the most common player responses to deal with undead.
And when you give when my character is a lawful neutral, problems with turning, it's it's a little problematic, which was fine, which was great. I'm glad I had. This was the one time having less hit points was good. I didn't have to worry about anything. You take 16.
No,
okay, good. I have 12. I'm dead.
Yep. End of it. You'll notice that the Revenant is capable of doing 2 to 16 points of damage. Had her precast strength before the combat. In fact, the scenario suggests that she precasts a certain number of spells before then. The spells that she had active at that point in time, because you'd given her plenty of time, you'd made that noise. So the first thing she did was cast clairvoyance to figure out where you were, set up the distraction, and afterwards we had the following things running. Where are we? Dappled ossuary.
Mind blank.
We had... No, not mind blank. No, she had Unseen Servant, protection from normal missiles, strength, and invisibility.
So Abigail was a magic user?
Abigail was a magic user when she died. Yeah.
What level
no, I'm sorry. I take that back. She was not a magic user. She was a member of the witch class.
From Dragon Magazine?
Yeah, from Dragon Magazine. I wanted to use the witch class because it's one of my that is one of my all-time favorite Dragon magazines. I know that you guys review Dragon magazines. I love that episode. So I kind of wanted my nod to Halloween as well as, the overt one. That was kind of my in-joke.
Very cool. So she had the spells. So yeah. So she
and
had
the final words of the module are: if Abigail is slain by the PC, she will utter a few last words before her death. She'll explain who she is and why she's come to them, because they are wicked men with narrow minds that brutally put to death an innocent young girl full of light and life, whose only crime was that she had been blessed by the gods of nature to apply its forces. She'll curse her killers for their black hearts a final time, then fall to dust. The her threat is concluded, her words may resonate with the PCs. Indeed, they have much to answer for, and it may well be that their devotion to Foltest's dogma has blinded them to the truth of goodness. If Abigail succeeds in avenging her murder, the scenario is likewise concluded. The wicked are no more, and the meek and innocent have triumphed over those that would use their might to trample them callously underfoot. In the heavens, Foltest broods over his defeat, and yet in the songs of the wind and the silent harmonies of the earth, nature rejoices. Justice has at last been served.
Carlos, that was great.
Carlos,
can I ask you a question about...
Can you stop your sharing? I'm having some audio issues. It may be because of the share.
Yeah. I'll stop my sharing right now.
I'm not sure if it's that, but there. Thanks.
Done.
See, now I see you guys. See, now I can see. Carlos, would Luminous, in your opinion, would Luminous and Limpy still ascend to the plane where Foltest is? And so
absolutely they would.
Okay.
They would absolutely. Foltest would get them to ascend to Nirvana where they belong.
And that is this Foltest? I mean, James actually got me this.
Yep. That's our guy. That's our guy.
Yeah.
I would screen share the icon I was using on her for her, but it's going to make you not be able to see anything, so I won't.
Got it. And so the plane Arcadia. So we're going to Arcadia.
Oh, it's Arcadia. Forgive me. For some reason, I thought it was Nirvana. But
no, that's fine. And I didn't mean to correct you. I was just looking it up.
No, that's all good. It's all good. I should have remembered that was absolute lawful neutral.
That's what it is? Arcadia's lawful neutral?
No, Nirvana is, because that's where all the Odrons are.
So what's Arcadia? Oh, now I can see you guys. What's Arcadia?
It's a split between.
I wonder. Arcadia
is in between. It's lawful neutral with good tendencies, if I remember right.
Oh, got it. Okay, so it's not so bad. So Luminous and Limpy. So okay, so all right. So all ends well.
Actually, I love the characters that you guys came up with, and to respond to it, I had to make you guys a little bit more of a involved scenario. I didn't want to give you guys some jabroni scenario.
That was awesome. That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. So with that, we should probably roll D10. Carlos, since you're our guest, for how well our event is. So it's in your hands.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Here was the event. The event was... Hey, you guys will be happy. It's a 9.
That makes perfect sense.
Wow. I agree with that.
A good episode. We had blueberries. We gave away things. We had Carlos on. It was a lot of fun. Again, thanks so much to... I think people realize the quality and how much time you put into it. So it's always nice that you take time out of your busy schedule. So if people want to play with you, because I'm sure after seeing this, it's a lot of fun. they can be a patron, that you have a special patron thing you'd still
I have
do?
special patron tiers in which I run games, campaign games for people. I have Patreon tiers at which you can purchase a one-shot, or you can just catch me at a convention or at a special event. Like, for example, I'm doing my charity event here in January, and people are going to be able to get in on those, and I'm inviting all kinds of people to that thing, and you'll be able to see some VIPs. Two of the people that are invited are my two good friends, Dan and James.
That's right. Yeah. We'll be playing January 2nd. We'll be getting over our hangovers and watching a lot of college football and having
this
fun
one
with
isn't this one isn't a clear death shot either, so you'll have a chance to actually survive this one.
Well, Carlos, since you liked these PCs, feel free to have James play Limpy again. If I'm sure he'd like to do that.
I don't think I'll do that though. I think I got to give James a little bit more than that.
Okay.
It's not a stretch to me to play someone who's barely functional. It's not a problem. That's
well, you had a barely functional DM, so I mean, this is what you get.
Well, again, thank you so much, Carlos, for your time. We really appreciate you staying on the whole time. And for all those who are listening, have a happy Halloween. We'll see you in a couple weeks. For Grog Talk, I'm James.
I'm Dan.
And we will see you. And this is Carlos. Go ahead. Thank you so much, Carlos. And we'll see you next time on Grog Talk. Take care.